Meanwhile, an Islamic extremist from Luton who was under criminal investigation for attacking a man in London has absconded and is believed to have joined jihadists fighting in Syria. Abu Rahin Aziz was yesterday convicted in his absence, as Matt Prodger reports.
Abu Rahin Aziz is a British extremist from Luton who's spoken in support of ISIS, the jihadist group at the heart of the recent unrest in Iraq. He's posted videos on YouTube. In May last year, Abu Aziz was arrested by police for a violent attack on a man leaving a pub in central London. The victim was set upon by a group of Islamists who had been protesting outside the American embassy nearby. Aziz left the UK in March while on bail, and the BBC's been told he headed to Syria to fight with jihadists.
Firefighters have tackled a blaze overnight at a former old people's home in Leagrave High Street in Luton. They were called to the derelict Westley home at around 10:15 last night. Around 25 firefighters plus an aerial platform were at the scene until around 5 o'clock this morning. The cause is being investigated. A van driver has been killed in a crash on the M40 on the Buckinghamshire-Oxfordshire border. It happened just before 7 o'clock yesterday evening when his van was in collision with an HGV on the southbound carriageway between junction 6 for Watlington and 5 at Stokenchurch. The motorway was closed for several hours. Parents at a Berkhamsted school are calling for improvements to a dangerous junction. It comes as a charity for sustainable travel meets with MPs today to discuss how to make it safer and easier for children to walk and cycle to school. Parent Sarah Green doesn't let her 2 children cross the junction where Kings Hill Way meets Kings Road and Shooters Way.
I don't think it's safe for anybody. I wouldn't even like to cross the road there. You do feel like you are taking your life in your hands. Even driving is, you need to be aware. Just because you're on the main road doesn't mean to say that someone who doesn't understand the junction isn't going to pull out on you.
In sport, holders Spain are out of the World Cup after losing 2-0 to Chile. Tonight it's England versus Uruguay, with Liverpool's Luis Suarez expected to return for the South American side. The weather, cloud breaking up to leave a warm and sunny day, maximum temperature 21 degrees Celsius, and you can get the latest news and sport online at bbc.co.uk/Three Counties.
BBC Three Counties Radio's big tour of beds, hearts and bucks.
Got the canal, the Blue Lagoon, just all the open spaces for the kids.
And all this week, we're featuring Bletchley.
Quite diverse, quite a lot of people have been here a long, long time.
We've lived in Bletchley for well over 45 years.
It's all about where you live.
We get all the benefits of being in a new city, but also the benefits of being in what I would call a small market town.
The big tour of beds, hearts and bucks. BBC Three Counties Radio.
I didn't know whether to look at you or her bum. I just didn't know. I didn't know. Coming up later, a lady who's fascinated with fascinators. That's a real thing, guys, that I heard on a real radio station yesterday.
Yeah, we won't be hearing it on this one.
Well, I don't know. If you're fascinated with fascinators, now I know what a fascinator is, then why don't you give us a call?
Yeah, nothing.
They trailed it on. It's a real thing on the radio station, Matt. A BBC radio station.
Well, that's the BBC for you, the best journalism.
No, hang on. No. I was being sarcastic.
So was I.
OK. Kelly's not here. She's at Ladies' Day. It's Ladies' Day at Ascot. I don't understand what Ladies' Day is. Because, men and horses still go anyway, don't they?
The men and horses are still allowed. I think men and horses are the standard.
But what are the ladies?
It's
the horses.
It's when you get to jazz yourself up a little bit.
But not... The dress has to be knee length or below. Yes, if it's above the knee, then you will... will not be involved in the Ascot Day. That's the rule.
I don't see the fascination with...
Fascinators?
Fascinators.
There we go. 08459 455 555. Yes, we are that desperate for content this morning, guys. Coming up, big bowls, dodgy crossings and shiny poles.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
Yeah.
Say you don't know me, recognize my face. Say you don't care who goes to that kind of place. Knee deep in the hoopla, sinking in your fight. Too many runaways eating up the night. Marconi plays the mama. Listen to the radio. Don't you remember? We built this city. We built this city on rock and roll. We built this city on rock and roll. Built this city. We built this city on rock and roll. Someone always playing corporation games. Who cares? They're always changing corporation names. We just want to dance here. Someone stole the stage. They call us irresponsible. Write us off the page. Marconi plays the mama. Listen to the radio. Don't you remember? We built this city. We built this city on rock and roll. We built this city. We built this city on rock and roll. Built this city. We built this city on rock and roll. It's just another Sunday in a tired old street. Police have got the chokehold. And we just lost the beat. Who counts the money underneath the bar? Who rides the wrecking ball into our guitars? Don't tell us you need us, 'cause we're the simple fools looking for America, crawling through your schools.
Looking out over that Golden Gate Bridge on another gorgeous sunny Saturday night, seeing that bumper-to-bumper traffic.
Don't you remember?
It's your favorite radio station in your favorite radio city, the city by the bay, the city that rocks, the city that never sleeps.
Marconi plays the mama. Listen to the radio. Don't you remember? We built this city. We built this city on rock and roll. We built this city. We built this city on rock and roll. Built this city. We built this city on rock and roll. Built this city. We built this city on rock and roll. Built this city.
Morning, this is Iain Lee, BBC Three Counties Radio, 08459 455 555. You can call in about pretty much anything you want today.
Please.
No, yes.
Ples.
Yes, ples. You know, I'm not saying that we're light, but our lead story is about badminton. So, you know, just... It's a good story.
It's an important story.
It's a good story, actually.
He might not say the phones are light.
It's a good story, but... we do need your... And it is a good story, because Badminton England's plans to move their headquarters to the Milton Keynes Bowl could be under threat. The £20 million project is an integral part of the redevelopment of the landmark. But the BBC has discovered Badminton England may be at least £2 million short of the money it needs to make it happen. Well, Catherine Boyle has had her keen badminton eye on this story for quite some time. Catherine, what did Badminton England propose for the bowl?
Well, Badminton England's proposals include a 17-court world-class badminton facility, including a 3,000-seater arena, a fitness club and athlete accommodation. So they're not playing games here. This was a big facility.
Well, they would be playing badminton.
They are playing badminton.
Yeah.
The National Badminton Arena would see their headquarters move from their Bradwell Road base in Loughton, where they've been since the year 2000. And originally it was hoped the new facility would open in spring next year, but work hasn't started yet at all, despite planning permission having been granted. Now, the arena is an integral part of Milton Keynes Council's much heralded attempts to create a sporting legacy in the city, a legacy of the Rugby World Cup, of course. And it's a cornerstone of the MK Bowl development, which also includes separate plans for a giant water theme park and an international training facility.
So what's gone wrong?
Well, Craig Lewis, our Milton Keynes reporter, really, he's the one that can take credit for all this.
Yeah.
He's been speaking to a very senior source within Milton Keynes Council, who's told him that he's seen figures which show that Badminton England is between £2 and £4 million short of where it needs to be to complete the 17-court facility.
Gosh, is that all?
Well, it's a lot of money, and our source described Badminton England's project management as abysmal. They may have something to say about that. We're going to be speaking to them later on. And also suggested that they were considering abandoning the bowl development in favour of a smaller arena in the Leisure Plaza area of Milton Keynes. Now, Badminton England, you'll be speaking to later, as I say, they've assured us that they remain committed to the MK Bowl, but admitted they may not have enough money to build all 17 courts. Instead, they may have to settle for a 12-court arena.
How can they be up to £4 million short? That's a huge miscalculation, isn't it?
Well, that's something you can put to them. The whole planning process here has got a little bit complicated. Basically, the funding for the new arena depended on a mix of grants from charities such as Sport England and from the sale of the land at their old headquarters in Loughton. Badminton England's chief executive, Adrian Christie's, admitted to the BBC that there are issues around the sale of that piece of land and they may not get as much money for it as they expected. That's what's happened. The whole deal at Loughton was hugely controversial in the first place. The land to be sold is next to a popular lake, and residents believe the proposed 102-home development would destroy the natural beauty of the area.
So, very messy, but surely, as you just said, Badminton England, they can just build a smaller arena at the Bowl, can't they?
That's what they're saying, but it may not be as simple as that. The existing planning permission is for a 17-court facility, and politicians, including the new council leader, Peter Marland, who's spoken out against the sale of the land at Loughton, believe that any proposal for a 12-court facility would have to go through the council's Development Control Committee again, and that may not be the easiest thing in the world.
Nope.
The Bowl and the Loughton housing development plans are inextricably linked, and those housing plans were passed through without any affordable housing by the now ousted Conservative administration. Now, they believe the city's sporting legacy was more important than social housing at this particular site. Without at least 30% affordable housing in place, the new Labour Council may decide to turn down the application, but that in turn would scupper Badminton England's proposals for the Bowl.
Craig Lewis has done all the dirty work on this. Craig, excellent stuff indeed. Thank you very much. Can I just say, I'm shocked when you said a 3,000-seater arena to watch badminton. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't get. It's just slow tennis, isn't it?
But you went and watched all kinds when you went to the Olympics, and that.
I didn't go and watch all kinds. I watched the Paralympic female weightlifting.
Right. Did you think you were into that before?
I saw 4 world records being broken in the space of an hour, which made me think,
I know, but you went and gave it a try and enjoyed it.
Oh, no, I enjoyed it. But badminton is, and I say this with so much respect and love, is for old women. My mother... No, it is, because it's really slow.
No.
Yeah?
I wouldn't want to be on the end of one of those shuttlecocks when it's coming towards you at a gazillion miles per hour. They're pointy. Are you mad?
You don't be afraid of shuttlecocks coming. They come to you at a very gentle pace.
No, they don't. They whack them.
I can see in the reflection of the glass that...
Chaboom.
Chaboom.
Check that. Chaboom.
There's some badminton being played next door.
Matt next door, who's Alan Bennett's grandfather, is filling in for Kelly Betts today, who's at Ascot Ladies' Day. Do you get the badminton, Matt?
I get the badminton. I like the badminton. It's. I think it takes much more skill than tennis, really.
No,
jumping around.
How can something that's so slow and literally airy-fairy...
It's fast badminton. Have you seen them go bang, 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 bang?
They go jug-boom.
Chugga-boom, chugga-boom.
Chugga-boom. You're thinking of some kind of 70s sexy film. 08459 455 555. I do not get the badminton.
Well, maybe you will get the badminton when there's more badminton around.
Well, there may not be more, but this may be my one chance to get it, and it's going to slip through my fingers. 08459 455 555.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Good morning. In Leagrave, the High Street is closed between Oakley Road and Copperfields after a building fire. Also got some roadworks in Beaconsfield to watch out for, just near the M40 on the Collinswood Road. It's before you join the motorway. Also, public transport, that's all looking good. We've got no reported problems. I'm Alice Glossop, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Hey up, Alice.
Hello.
Hey up, Glossop. How's it going? How's it
Going
going?
good. How are you?
It's good, thanks. Do you get the badminton?
Yeah, I get it.
What is there to get?
It's pretty. I think it's pretty fast paced. No, I agree with Kath's noise. Like,
well, okay, right. It's not as fast paced as tennis, and here's something for you: ping pong. Ping pong is fast paced,
but it's very on a small scale.
Well, yes, it's a table. It's tennis on a table. Imagine that. Alice, thank you very much. We'll discuss this later on. What on earth are you doing? What is that?
That's badminton.
That wasn't badminton, my friend. That was something completely different. Wow. Badminton does not compare to the magic of ping pong. Ping pong is a game, isn't it?
Ping pong?
Ping pong.
That's a bit like darts. That's not a sport.
Shut up. You go and say that to a Chinese man. Go up to a Chinaman and say ping pong isn't a sport.
And by the way, don't diss ours. That is a sport.
You go up to someone from China and say ping pong's not a sport. You see what happens. You get a karate chop to the windpipe. Or worse. 6:17. It's Thursday, the 19th of June. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. There's a question mark over development plans at the Milton Keynes Bowl after complications with funding a proposed new badminton centre there. An Islamic extremist from Luton, who was under criminal investigation for attacking a man in London, has absconded and is believed to have joined jihadists fighting in Syria. And firefighters have tackled a blaze overnight at a former old people's home in Leagrave High Street in Luton. The cause is being investigated.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
BBC Sport. Just walking through the gates gives you goosebumps. With all eyes on centre court.
The nerves, the excitement, who knows what will happen when they step onto the grass.
And with so much talent in one place.
This generation of tennis players has never been equalled. They have really taken the game up a notch.
It's anyone's game.
Wimbledon is special and the one that every player wants to win.
Wimbledon 2014. Starts Monday across the BBC.
Yeah, here are silly bands, right? Earth, Wind and Fire and the Stylistics. Aren't they silly bands?
Who decided singing like that was okay?
Well, Brian Wilson and Frankie Valli made it cool.
Yeah, but they sang with other people. It was to top a rounded sound.
You were making a sound sandwich in those days.
Yeah, and that's just a sound flatbread.
Matt, can you sing falsetto? OK, he shook his head there, guys. He shook his head. That means
too much of a man.
Too much of a man. Well, big girls don't cry. No, hang on. Walk like a man. I don't think Frankie Valli's a very good singer.
I don't know whether he's a good singer because of that way he sings.
Big girls don't cry. He just does that.
Yeah.
Matt, can you do a falsetto?
Yeah, what do you want me to do? Never time to see you through, na 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 to be down. Say you're mine to everlasting fantasy. Oh, sweet.
Yeah, my respect, boss, yeah?
Now, the transport charity Sustrans will meet MPs today. No, I have no idea what just happened either. I've literally no idea. Sustrans will meet MPs today to urge them to do more to get children walking to school, starting with ensuring they'll be safe from traffic. It's as if they've read the minds of a group of parents in Berkhamsted who fear a child will be hurt trying to cross the road to Ashland School. For once, the local councils need no convincing and has broken with policy by offering to pay for a lollipop person. End of story. No, beginning of story, because no one wants to do the job. Perhaps the £6.50 an hour they're offering isn't tempting enough. Our reporter, Matt Lockwood, was in Berkhamsted yesterday.
It's a 90-degree bend on the main road with a feeder road coming in, as it were, on the elbow of that. So for children, that's why they've got so many different combinations of traffic. And I don't know, maybe the road would benefit from having an island in the middle like you see for sort of pedestrian crossings, so that at least they could make one journey to the middle of the road and then across, concentrate on the other side of the road. That might be another option. The fact that Ashlands is now the senior school in Berkhamsted, so you've got children coming from year 7, so 11-year-olds, 10-11-year-olds coming. Yes, you want them where they've been able to walk to junior school, you want that to continue to their senior school. And it's a great shame if that exercise is being curtailed by a situation which could be remedied.
And your children are 13 and 15. Would you be comfortable with them walking through that area?
No, not really, no. I don't think it's safe for anybody. I wouldn't even like to cross the road there. You do feel like you are taking your life in your hands. Even driving is, you need to be aware. Just because you're on the main road doesn't mean to say that someone who doesn't understand the junction isn't going to pull out on you. I hear there are many accidents there.
So you've tried to cross this crossing now, and I saw you standing at the other side of King's Road. You were looking around, trying to judge the traffic. How difficult is it to cross?
Hard. You can't really see the cars coming, so it's not easy.
And does your mum have concerns about you crossing this road and walking home?
She doesn't like me walking this way, but I do it anyway. It's quicker, easier to walk this way.
And the council have made improvements. They've tried to realign the junction, but I see you ignored that completely and took the shortest route to cross the road.
Yeah, well, I didn't really know that way was there until you've just said that. So.
And how often do you cross this road? Every day?
Every time I walk this way, which is not all the time, but any time that I walk this way.
And do you fear that one day something bad could happen if you're not careful?
Yeah.
It would worry me if my kids were crossing that junction. The old layout, you cross the road once. But here, the kids are coming along this side of Shooters Way, and then they have to cross Shooters Way and then recross the King's Road. So what it's done is it's substituted 2 crossings for 1.
It sounds like a bit of a cock-up by the council, really.
Yeah, well, they got bad advice or something like that. But I mean, it is a bit of a puzzle, because the moment they start to lay it out, you could guess what was going to happen, and it has.
Matt Lockwood reporting there.
Can't buy me love, love, can't buy me love. give you all I've got to give if you say you love me too. I may not have a lot to give, but what I got I'll give to you. I don't care too much for money. Money can buy me love, can buy me love. Everybody tells me so, can buy me love. No, 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 no. Say you don't need no diamond rings, and I'll be satisfied. Tell me that you want the kind of things the money just can't buy. I don't care too much for money. Money can buy me love. Buy me love. Everybody tells me so. Can buy me love. No, 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 no. Say you don't need no diamond rings, and I'll be satisfied. Tell me that you want the kind of things that money just can't buy. I don't care too much for money. Money can buy me love. Can buy me love. Love. Buy me love.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
In Leagrave, the High Street is closed between the Oakley Road and Copperfields after a building fire. And on the speed sensors, the M1 London bound starting to build up between junction 10 for Luton and 9 for Redbourne. The M25 anti-clockwise also starting to look busy around junction 19 for Watford. Public transport has no reported problems. I'm Alice Glossop, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Across beds, hearts and bugs.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 6:30. I'm Simon Oxley. The headlines: there's a question mark over development plans at the Milton Keynes Bowl after complications with funding a proposed new badminton centre there. An Islamic extremist from Luton who was under criminal investigation for attacking a man in London has absconded and is believed to have joined jihadists fighting in Syria. The United States is considering an Iraqi government request for airstrikes against the Sunni militants who've overrun parts of the country. And firefighters have tackled a blaze overnight at a former old people's home in Leagrave High Street in Luton. The cause is being investigated.
Three Counties Sports.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
The defending champions Spain have been knocked out of the World Cup after losing 2-0 to Chile.
The ball is played across, chance for Vargas, kept his feet and scored! Casillas to his left, tanks it away, and then the shot is into the net! Chile have scored again!
Defeat means Spain become the first defending champions to lose their opening two group games. It means Chile and the Netherlands progress from Group B. That's after the Dutch beat Australia 3-2. Also last night, Cameroon went out after a 4-0 defeat by Croatia. Tonight, of course, it's England versus Uruguay. Manager Roy Hodgson says they may not need to win both of their remaining group games.
4 points could also qualify you. It could qualify Uruguay and Costa Rica as well. So we realise that it's not necessarily as drastic as two must-win games. You could get through with 4 points. Not that we're really counting on that. We're counting on if we're going to go through, we need to win them both.
And it's an 8 o'clock kick-off our time. Before that, it's Colombia versus the Ivory Coast at 5, with Japan versus Greece at 11. In golf, the Women's US Open starts today at Pinehurst. Lucy Williams is making her debut. The Mid-Hearts golfer says it could be the greatest moment in her career.
I think it might be probably one of the biggest moments ever in my career, because it's probably the biggest women's tournament in the world in the game. So, yeah, don't think much will top that in the future.
And in rugby, England have made 7 changes to their starting lineup for Saturday's third and final test against New Zealand. Meanwhile, Bedford's Aaron Morris starts at fullback for England under-20s in tomorrow's Junior World Cup final against South Africa, also in New Zealand. BBC Three Counties News and Sport. The next full bulletin is at 7.
Call 08459 455 555.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Oh, yeah. Catherine's joined me in my studio for the daily, as we're doing for the next few weeks, the daily World Cup roundup. Catherine, what have you made of the World Cup so far? What did you think of last night's matches?
Well, no one can say it's not an interesting tournament. Already a great upset with Spain, of course,
Well,
having another disappointing game.
It's the first time, stat fans, it's the first time that the reigning World Cup champions have not got through to the final 16. Great game,
But
powerful.
My overall observation of last night's game was,
Yes.
what on earth is the Chilean national anthem all about?
Oh.
It makes no sense. I mean, I didn't understand the words, of course.
You speak a lingo as well,
Yeah,
don't
but
you?
I couldn't. It was all muffled.
Yeah.
Didn't seem to go with the music.
Yeah.
And then they went a cappella halfway through.
What?
Yeah. What was that?
They broke it down?
Yeah, they broke it down.
You know what? You know, we're getting new countries all the time.
Yeah.
Do you know who writes the theme tunes?
Elton John.
The national
Mike
anthems.
Batt.
Mike Batt.
Does he?
Was that a guess?
Yes.
Mike Batt writes the national anthems for most of the new countries.
Wow.
The Wombles guy.
Yeah,
the
did they know that?
The Katie Melua guy.
Mhm.
There are 10 million bicycles in Beijing.
And apparently only one song.
He sent that to China. They were having none of that. They
Yeah.
didn't. They turned that one down.
They said it was statistically incorrect.
It would be, and they should know. They kept a tally.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Anyway, is that true, or did you just make that up? Because
No,
I'm
that's-
nodding as if I.
I'm sure it's true, and I'm sure I've asked him.
Yeah, but he would say yes, wouldn't he?
Would he? If it wasn't true, he would.
I
Mike Batt seems a man of his word and indeed his honour.
Really?
Of course. So, Justin Dealey's the music man. Morning, Just.
Morning, boss.
Mike Batt.
Legend.
Isn't he just?
The man who makes ginger fashionable all over again.
He writes national anthems for new countries.
I think that's true, yes.
There we go, you see? Dealey thinks
He thinks it's true.
Well, hang on a second. It's 2-1.
Yes.
Plus, with the greatest respect in the world, it's 2 gentlemen to 1 lady.
Yep.
All I'm saying is, I didn't know whether to look at you or her bum.
I'll tell you what, boss.
Yes, sir.
You know, I'm not showing off here, but me and Mike, we're very good friends.
Are you?
Would you like me to call Mike for you and actually ask him the question?
Would we ever?
Hey, yes,
should we do it
please.
later on,
Yeah,
shall we?
let's call up Mike Batt.
Hey, Mike, do you want to come on the show? Do you write national anthems? You do,
listen,
yes?
Mike Batt comes in for a lot of stick, right? And I don't know why, because he's written some brilliant songs. He also did the orchestration on one of my favourite albums, the XTC album. And the man's a legend, and he just kept bubbling away the whole time. Let's get Mike Batt on the show, Just.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
Every single Christmas, he makes it for me with the Wombles Christmas song. Every year, I have a smile on my face because of Mike Batt.
Wombling Merry Christmas.
There we go, you see. What can we do for you, Just?
Well, look, you sent me off to Leagrave High Street this morning.
Yeah. Are you there now?
I'm here as we speak.
Tell us what happened and what's going on now.
Well, I'm on just outside Wesley Care Home. This is an old care home, a derelict care home. It's 121 on the High Street. There was a fire here overnight. Firefighters were called here at around 10:15. They left at around 5 o'clock this morning. 25 firefighters were here, plus an aerial platform. There was a blaze. The blaze has been put out. I can see the old care home in front of me right now. The roof is missing. The road itself is cordoned off as you move up to the care home. But I can tell you this morning, Ian, that it's certainly not affecting traffic. Everyone that I've spoken to in the area is saying to me, I didn't even know anything happened here last night. But quite a big fire that happened overnight. But I can tell you right now, the firefighters, they have put this fire out and they have now left, and they will be investigating the cause of this fire.
Can you smell it?
Yes.
Is there the heavy smell of an ex-fire in the air?
There is actually, because I was trying to find out where this home was, this old home, and the only way I could really find it was by putting the window down and sniffing. And
really?
yes, absolutely true.
Look at that, he's a news hound. That's brilliant. You got your schnozzle out.
So, yes, you can smell it in the air, but the fire is definitely out, and the firefighters have left the scene.
Justin, we have 2 possible missions for you today.
Yes.
And we may end up doing both, or you can certainly take your pick at this stage. The first one, Catherine, you have a story in front of you in the newspaper. Catherine's found both of these, and they're cracking stories.
I have, and I found this, first of all, because I was thinking of Kelly. Kelly, of course, has gone to Ascot.
For Ladies' Day?
For Ladies' Day.
Yeah. Why's she going?
No idea.
Don't be come on. You're very daring when she's out of the building. Anyway,
did you find your phone and lighter, by the way, yesterday, Just?
What? My phone?
Your phone and your lighter, yeah.
I found my lighter.
Okay.
What?
Have you got both your phones?
Yes.
Okay, fine.
Anyway, Christina Rianoff from Strictly Come Dancing, one of the dancers, was turned back from Ascot yesterday because she didn't have a long enough dress on. She had a dress made out of betting slips. I'd say it's probably about 3 inches above the knee. She was told to go and cover up. She later returned with a different frock on, same hat.
How would she have a different frock on her?
It's got a spare one in the boot.
Well, really, who carries a spare outie with them?
Well, maybe she went to a local shop.
Okay, so she got told to cover up. So the question could be, Justin, option A is...
Have you ever been told to cover up?
I bet you've been told loads of times, haven't you?
Yes, I have, actually.
Not just in the workplace?
but not in this country, abroad.
Oh.
You know, if you go to...
It was in Iran. I'd love to see you in Iran.
Somebody said to me once, why are you wearing a vest top?
Yeah.
This is where you have breakfast. And I said, well, it's hot. And they said, well, no, cover up.
Yeah, mate.
Or you're not eating.
What country was this?
This was in the Caribbean a few years ago.
Good for them. Well done. Well done. They're right.
What I would say, though, and I'm sure that people back me up here...
No nipples at dinner, thank you.
Ascot, it's tacky. I'm sorry, I've been once, I will never go again. It is just tacky.
Okay.
Back me up, Beds, Hearts and Bucks.
08459 455 555. This is option 2 or B. I don't
This is
remember
another one. I found this in the Mail online. Would you dare to tell your wife she was fat?
Oh, yes.
These men broke the ultimate taboo. These men broke the ultimate taboo in marriage, but did their wives pay any attention? Now, some of these have told their wives, let's sort this out, a bit of a middle-aged spread going on. One of these fellas, a charming man, told her hours after she'd had her first child that she'd let herself go.
The baby's out, let's start working it.
He said,
on,
you have put some weight on, haven't you? I mean, at that point, you've got a flipping jelly belly. It doesn't feel like your own anyway. You've just given birth. You've been through what feels like a horrible accident.
I'm imagining you, Justin, going up to some couples and putting that question rather indelicately. Do you is that the one that's grabbing your fancy?
Yeah, option B, definitely. And what I would say about that, actually, two sides to this story.
There's not. There's one side to the story, but carry on, yes.
Okay, well, what I was going to say was, if you look at this, you could say, well, if a man says to his wife, you're overweight, you could say, right, that person is totally out of order. No, that person is a good husband, because you get two types of husband. You get the husband who wants nobody to look at their wife, and they may well turn a blind eye if their wife is putting on weight. That person's a good husband because they're saying to their wife, look, you have put on a bit of weight, I know you best, I love you, and I'm telling you, you need to lose some.
Or is it really, really selfish? Are you saying, oh my gosh, you're becoming so fat? Ugh.
No.
This happened to me.
Oh.
This happened to me. My husband had an accident and couldn't play cricket for a summer, and he started to pack it on a bit.
Yeah.
And he'd also given up smoking, and so we replaced that with sweets.
Yep.
And he started to spread out a little bit, and I sort of watched, and I thought, right, okay, cut him some slack. He's had a hard time. And then after a while, I said, and I put it like this, and I did it because I love him and because I wanted us to sort it out together. I said, look, you and I both, we're not getting any younger. Let's sort our diets out. Wow. Let's get bikes and let's do a bit more exercise because we're sitting around at the moment, and I don't want to start putting weight on. And that's the way I put it.
So you didn't say to him, listen, Mr. Boyle, you are becoming a fat chuffer.
I kind of said you and I could do with losing a few.
So that's a clever way around it. No one wants the truth, though. It's the question.
But I wouldn't want to suddenly look at myself in the mirror and think, flipping out, why didn't he tell me?
Come on, guys, come on. Let's just put it out there.
Yeah, okay.
When it comes to Catherine and this story, do you know what? Great couple, very attractive couple, but going back a few years ago, you were both a bit porky. So,
exactly.
You've done the right thing. You've had the conversation and you've sorted it. You see, this is what couples should be doing, Iain.
Justin, if your girlfriend says to you, you're buying some nice fancy clothes from, I don't know, Zara, H&M, something like that, and she comes out of the dressing room and she says, Justin, does my bum look big in this? What are you going to say?
Hang on. You see, this conversation's a different conversation to be having. If somebody says...
It's all about honesty.
Does my bum look big in this? And you may say, yes, but that could well be a compliment. Who wants to have
Hey, look at Kim Kardashian.
Who wants a bottom that's not curvy if you're a lady? That's sexy, isn't it?
So you'd say, yes, it does. Well done.
It does, and you look fantastic.
Justin, take it to the streets. I'll speak to you later.
Thank you, boss.
Thank you. 08459 455 555. Would you tell your partner if they were getting a bit porky? I don't know if I could do it.
Well, I'm running down the road trying to loosen my load. I got 7 women on my mind. 4 that wanna own me, 2 that wanna stone me, 1 says she's a Take it easy, take it easy. Don't let the sound of your own wheels drive you crazy. Lighten up while you still can. Don't even try to understand. Just find a place to make your stand and take it easy. Well, I'm standing on a corner in Winslow, Arizona, and such a fine sight to see. It's a girl, my lord, in a flatbed Ford, slowing down to take a look at me. Come on, baby, don't say baby. I gotta know if your sweet love is gonna save me. We may lose and we may win, but we will never be here again. So open up, I'm climbing in. So take it easy. Well, I'm running down the road trying to loosen my load. Got a world of trouble on my mind. Looking for a lover who won't blow my cover. She's so hard to find. Take it easy, take it easy. Don't let the sound of your own wheels make you crazy. Come on, baby, don't say maybe. I gotta know if your sweet love is gonna save me. Oh, we got it easy.
Okay. Catherine and I have spent a significant portion of this morning dissing the new Paddington movie.
Yeah, mostly because of this photo in the paper.
It looks terrifying.
Thing.
And who's the Colin Firth, who's going to be the voice of Paddington?
Yeah.
And then he's bottled out of it. He's had enough. He said, I can't do it. And we looked at this terrifying bear and we've been dissing it. We've just watched the trailer.
It looks brilliant.
It looks brilliant. He has hijinks in a bathroom, floods the bathroom, and surfs down the stairs in a bath.
Yeah, after sticking the toothbrushes in his ears and
It does look
fishing out
good.
all kinds of
I think
stuff that kids will love.
I think the boys are going to love that. Okay, but who's going to be the voice of Paddington? Who's it going to be? It could be Matt. Matt?
Sorry, I'm in a bit of a tangle here.
Yeah. What did he like? Marmite sandwiches?
Marmalade.
Marmalade. Oh, yeah. Could you tell me that you like marmalade sandwiches and you're from darkest Peru?
No, I like Bovril, you see.
It wouldn't work, would it?
No.
Travel news for beds, cards, and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
The M25 looking busy on the cameras now. Anti-clockwise, very slow between junction 21 for the M1 and 20 for Kings Langley. Also building up between junction 17 for Maple Cross and 16 for the M40. The M1 London bound, slow going between junction 10 for Luton and 9 for Redbourne. Then in Leagrave, the High Street is closed between the Oakley Road and Copperfields after a building fire. Public transport has no reported problems. I'm Alice Glossop, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Alice! 6:46, Thursday, the 19th of June. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. There's a question mark over development plans at the Milton Keynes Bowl after complications with funding a proposed new badminton centre there. An Islamic extremist from Luton who was under criminal investigation for attacking a man in London has absconded and is believed to have joined jihadists fighting in Syria. And firefighters have tackled a blaze overnight at a former old people's home in Leagrave High Street in Luton. The cause is being investigated. 08459 455 555 if you want to phone up and harass Matt, who's taking your calls today. Before that, let's get the weather with Wendy.
Beds, Hearts and Bucks weather.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Good morning. Well, we have a fairly humid start out there. Temperatures are sort of 9, 10, 11 degrees, but it's really quite muggy. We've also got some sunshine, though, to wake up to, and that's going to stay with us for another few hours, but we will see it disappearing during the afternoon. So while it's sunny, the temperature's really going to shoot up, and I should think we will be looking at sort of 20, 21 degrees in a few spots. Then it will start to cloud over during about lunchtime, and through the afternoon, a weak cold front goes through. That might also introduce 1 or 2 showery outbreaks of rain as well. Now, once it's cleared towards the south, and I think that's going to be well away from us by the sort of evening time with the return to some sunshine, it's going to start feeling fresher. So overnight, clear skies, temperatures similar to what we've just had, but it will be more comfortable for sleeping because there'll be less humidity. So through Friday, Saturday and Sunday, there's a risk of a shower, but otherwise lots of dry weather, and there will be some decent sunny spells. I think a little bit fresher tomorrow. We'll be looking at highs of around 19, 20 degrees, something like that. But through the weekend, in the sunshine, temperatures will be picking up to the low or even mid-20s. So a good spell of weather coming through during the weekend.
Hang on a minute, I didn't want that. I wanted, what's this? What's this? The Lumineers, Ho Hey.
It's that one that goes, but it sounds like an cider advert. You might like it.
No, I don't. I like this instead.
If you love music, you'll love Weekends here on BBC Three Counties Radio. Every Saturday, Justin Dealey plays the forgotten tracks and your musical memories. There's 2 hours of rock and roll heaven with Bernie Keith.
She's your fine looking man. She's something else.
BBC Introducing brings you local unsigned acts.
You cut your teeth on the lack of answers.
There's a rhythm in your heart.
And the late Paul Barnes plays fabulous tunes to ease you into Sunday morning.
The continental.
Love music, love Saturdays on BBC Three Counties
Freaking
Radio.
love Saturdays. I freaking love it, man. We were panicking there because the next song wasn't very good. We found a good song inspired by that advert. It's Miss Neil Sedaka.
Mr. Neil Sedaka.
She's playing some gigs here soon. I'd love to go and see her because she will die soon.
He will.
Let's Google her.
Hopefully live a long and prosperous life.
She's led a long and prosperous life already. She's been around forever. There's a brilliant documentary about him on BBC 4 the other day. And basically, he had all his hits in the 50s and into the 60s. He wrote loads of songs in the 60s. And then his career just imploded. And with the invasion of the Beatles and things like that, the kind of fey singer-songwriter was over. And he couldn't get a record deal, couldn't get a hit. So he moved to the UK in the late 60s. And through the late 60s and most of the 70s, was living in the UK playing working men's clubs. Playing like Batley and places like that. Yeah. And kind of releasing a few records here. And then he had he might have had a hit with Laughter in the Rain. It may have been his comeback hit. I don't know. It's a brilliant documentary. Anyway, he's playing at the Royal Albert Hall on October the 23rd.
I like him. He's like a proper entertainer.
He's good, isn't he? He's good. I'd like to go and see him, but I just can't be bothered to,
Well, tickets to concerts are so expensive now.
Let's find out. Let's ask.
Remember when we thought about going to see Fleetwood Mac?
Oh, flipping.
I've had to sell my children.
Yeah, they are.
To be honest, I didn't get much interest.
When did tickets... Here, Matt, this is one for you. When did tickets for concerts start popping at over 100 quid? Over 200 quid in some instances.
That's not good, is it? That is ridiculous.
Do you go to concerts much, mate?
I go to the theatre. I do like my musicals. I've seen many musicals.
What musicals do you like?
I've seen The Lion King. I've seen Les Miserables.
Oh, gosh.
I've seen... Oh, I saw a good musical in Leeds the other week.
What?
Oh, I've just forgotten what it is. I've seen Miss Saigon, that was good.
Oh, I thought that was awful.
So, Lord of the Rings, that was rubbish.
Yeah, you're talking about kind of like the big classic musicals, aren't you?
Producers, that was good.
Yeah, I bet that was good.
That was good, I enjoyed that one. Also saw lots of productions at the Theatre Royal in Windsor when I used to work for the local radio station there.
Okay, you can stop talking.
Brief Encounter, that was brilliant.
Was it?
Yeah.
How did they do the rolling about in the waves scene?
It's all projections.
Oh.
I like Briefing. If anyone listening to this has A, not seen Brief Encounter, or B, doesn't think it's a very good film, then I'm afraid you have to switch off.
I'm going to watch it again now.
It's such a good film. Let's all just sit down and watch Brief Encounter and have a good old cry.
Don't you watch it differently when you get older?
Yes, I do. He's sold out.
Oh.
Who sold out? Neil Sedaka?
Trevor Howard. When he did that film. No, Neil Sedaka sold out, yeah.
Oh, what a shame.
Let's listen to a song now and pretend we're...
We can do it for free.
Yeah. What?
Strolling along country roads with my baby. It starts to rain, it begins to pour. Without an umbrella, we're soaked to the skin. I feel a shiver run up my spine. I feel the warmth of her hand in mine. Ooh, I hear laughter in the rain, walking hand in hand with the one I love. Ooh, how I love the rainy days and the happy way I feel inside. After a while we run under a tree. I turn to her and she kisses me. There with the beat of the rain on the leaves, softly she breathes and I close my eyes, sharing our love under stormy skies. Ooh, I hear laughter in the rain, walking hand in hand with the one I love. Ooh, how I love the rainy days and the happy way I feel inside. I feel the warmth of her hand in mine. Ooh, I hear laughter in the rain, walking hand in hand with the one I love. Ooh, how I love the rainy days and the happy way I feel inside. Ooh, I hear laughter in the rain, walking hand in
Where are you going?
I thought we were done.
We've got ages yet.
We've got like 3 minutes.
So, a little bit embarrassing.
So,
Where I feel inside. Ooh, I hear laughter in the rain, walking hand in hand with the one I love. Ooh. Okay, so far.
Hello, Matt.
Then they have to stop.
Okay, Matt. We're on air now.
Are we? All right. Okay.
Thing is, this isn't an act, right? Catherine is in the studio with me. She'll go back to her studio with Matt in a minute. But the whole time you've been with me, you've been able to see him. What's
his
he been
lips
doing?
have been moving. He's
Yeah.
been talking to himself.
Yeah.
I think he's been talking to other people as well.
Matt,
Have you, Matt? Or was it
No, just talking to myself. I have to just work things out by speaking to myself.
Matt,
There's a lot of buttons to press here.
You know we were talking about Brief Encounter?
Yeah.
Well,
I was thinking of the wrong film.
we were talking about Brief Encounter.
Right.
There's no wave scene in Brief Encounter.
There is. No, there is.
Not where they're stood in the waves.
You're thinking of the wrong one and all.
No, there were some waves behind them.
Yeah, but they
Because
weren't...
they kept going like this on stage. They were going from side to side as if mimicking that they'd been washed over by some waves.
Okay. Neither of you are thinking of Brief Encounter.
No.
Well, that's what it said on the poster.
Not From Here to Eternity.
No, that's a
what
new
she
musical, isn't it?
That's what she was saying.
That's why I thought of that one, because I know it's a new musical.
What was embarrassing, Ros, as the microphones dimmed and Neil Sedaka entered the studio and performed his song, and what a song it was, Catherine said, Frank Sinatra wasn't very good in that, was he? I said, what? She said, in Brief Encounter, he wasn't very good in that. I said, he wasn't in it. He was Trevor Howard's friend. What are you talking about?
No, I never said that.
Google it. 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 What do you mean to Google?
I did say that, but I didn't say it was Trevor Howard's friend. I didn't know Trevor Howard was in it because I was thinking of the wrong film.
Have you ever seen Brief Encounter?
Yeah.
He's not. You don't need to Google it, Matt. I've Googled it. He's not in it.
Yeah, it's a
Are you Googling it? What are you doing?
He's writing his resignation.
Travel.
Thank you. So you were thinking of... Have you ever seen...
Yes.
Brief Encounter?
I've seen both. I need to watch both of them again now. I'm a grown-up person.
OK. We were having a conversation about two different films. But yes, Brief Encounter you do look at differently as you're older.
They both have a theme of unrequited love, though, don't they?
I don't know. I've never seen From Here to Eternity.
You need to get that sorted out.
OK, I'll sort it out.
Yeah, that poor gentleman, his wife is cheating on him and he doesn't know, does he? Just sat there in a chair. Poor gentleman. Brief Encounter.
And that was the strapline to the film that was on the poster.
Poor gentleman sat in a chair on his own, wife having an affair.
Yeah.
And then she just goes home and doesn't really speak to him, although he doesn't speak to her.
I feel sorry for everybody in that film. Apart from the woman who interrupts them, the woman who keeps interrupting them.
Oh, yeah, the busybody friend.
You've not seen it.
I have seen it.
You've not seen it.
I have seen it.
There's a scene on the stage production where there's a train, but it's a little train, and the train goes around the stage, and then they all follow the train like this.
Oh, that sounds rubbish.
As if they're on the train, but it's actually you actually believe that they're on the little miniature train.
No, you don't. You think they're following a tiny train.
That's ruined. That's ruined.
Oh wait, what are we asking the listener today?
We're
If you got a
asking,
fat
would you
wife,
tell your partner if they were putting weight on?
they're what?
Would you tell your partner if they were putting weight on?
Yep. 08459 455 555.
And what was the other one?
Ever been told to cover up?
Yeah, I've been told to cover up because Christina Rianoff has. So it must have happened to you.
08459 455 555. Let's hear your real stories. And coming after the news, a lady who's fascinated by fascinators.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the speed sensors in Harpenden, the High Street heavy going in both directions around Station Road. And in Leagrave, the High Street is closed after a building fire between the Oakley Road and Copperfields, but it's not causing any delays on the speed sensors. The M1 London bound, heavy going between junction 10 for Luton and 9 for Redbourne. Also the M25 anti-clockwise, very slow between junction 21 for the M1 and 20 for Kings Langley. Public transport has no reported problems. I'm Alice Glossop, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you very much, Alice Glossop. Ever told your partner they were fat and ever been told to cover up? We'll take your calls after the news with Simon Oxley.
Local and vocal across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 7 o'clock. The headlines: question mark over development at Milton Keynes Bowl. Luton extremist flees to join fighting in Syria, and parents concern over route to school in Hertfordshire.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
There's a question mark over development plans at the Milton Keynes Bowl after complications with funding a proposed new badminton centre there. Badminton England has been given the go-ahead for a 17-court facility at the Bowl, partly funded by the sale of land at their existing facility in Loughton, but they're facing a shortfall. More from Craig Lewis.
It's thought Badminton England may opt for a smaller facility at the Bowl, but this could require fresh planning permission. There's no guarantees the new Labour-run council would give that its backing, and Labour aren't happy at the sale of the current badminton site at Loughton for a housing development which didn't include any affordable housing. It's a potential blow to Milton Keynes' plans for a sporting legacy from next year's host city status at the Rugby World Cup.
An Islamic extremist from Luton who was under criminal investigation for attacking a man in London has absconded and is believed to have joined jihadists fighting in Syria. Abu Rahin Aziz was yesterday convicted in his absence, as Matt Prodger reports.
Abu Rahin Aziz is a British extremist from Luton who's spoken in support of ISIS, the jihadist group at the heart of the recent unrest in Iraq. He's posted videos on YouTube. In May last year, Abu Aziz was arrested by police for a violent attack on a man leaving a pub in central London. The victim was set upon by a group of Islamists who had been protesting outside the American embassy nearby. Aziz left the UK in March while on bail, and the BBC's been told he headed to Syria to fight with jihadists.
The United States is considering an Iraqi government request for airstrikes against the militants who've overrun parts of the country. President Obama has said he hasn't yet decided what action to take. Firefighters have tackled a blaze overnight at a former old people's home in Leagrave High Street in Luton. They were called to the derelict Westley home at around 10:15 last night. Around 25 firefighters plus an aerial platform were at the scene until around 5 o'clock this morning. The cause is being investigated. A van driver has been killed in a crash on the M40 on the Buckinghamshire-Oxfordshire border. It happened just before 7 o'clock yesterday evening when his van was in collision with an HGV on the southbound carriageway between junction 6 for Watlington and 5 at Stokenchurch. The motorway was closed for several hours. Parents at a Berkhamsted school are calling for improvements to a dangerous junction. It comes as a charity for sustainable travel meets with MPs today to discuss how to make it safer and easier for children to walk and cycle to school. Parent Sarah Green doesn't let her children cross the junction where Kingshill Way meets Kings Road and Shooters Way.
I don't think it's safe for anybody. I wouldn't even like to cross the road there. You do feel like you are taking your life in your hands. Even driving is, you need to be aware. Just because you're on the main road doesn't mean to say that someone who doesn't understand the junction isn't going to pull out on you.
In sport, holders Spain are out of the World Cup after losing 2-0 to Chile. Tonight it's England versus Uruguay, with Liverpool's Luis Suarez expected to return for the South American side. The weather, cloud breaking up to leave a warm and sunny day, maximum temperature 21 degrees Celsius. And you can get the latest news and sport online at bbc.co.uk/3 counties.
BBC Three Counties Radio's big tour of beds, hearts and bucks.
Oh, the people seem friendly enough.
Lovely little market town, really good mix of shops.
It's all about where you live.
It's more of a country feel, more of a homely feel.
And all this week, we're featuring Bletchley.
The best things in Bletchley, I think, are the outer areas like the Blue Lagoon and Manor Fields.
The big tour of beds, hearts and bucks. BBC Three Counties Radio.
Yeah, man, respect, boss. Morning, this is Iain Lee, BBC Three Counties Radio. Boy, oh boy, have we packed a lot into a tiny piece of bread. We're like David Beckham wearing a thong today, guys. I have no idea what that means. Coming up, we're finding out what is or isn't happening to the Milton Keynes Bowl. We're going to get someone on a shiny pole. And we'll be talking about life on the dole. We won't. It's just a cheap rhyme, Kath. Cheap rhyme. I was exploiting...
We can talk about that if you want.
I was exploiting the out-of-work situation, just like the government. Hey, Matt? A little bit of satire, Matt?
Morning.
Here we go. Okay. Also, ever told your partner, male or female, that they're a bit chubby? Would you do it? Is that the loving thing to do? And Kelly Betts is at Royal Ascot Ladies' Day. It sounds really chavvy, doesn't it? Ladies' Day. A jug of Pimm's, £5. Have you ever been told to cover up? I tell you what I'd like to tell to cover up. As soon as we get a little bit of sunshine, the blokes that walk around topless.
I know.
Isn't it horrible?
Topless in Tesco's.
Oh, no, you shouldn't be topless anywhere near food or anywhere near me. They're horrible, sweaty, fat bloke. I tell you who they are, and I say this without any respect. It's common people. It's common people. You don't get lords going topless.
Would Justin Dealey take his top off in the sunshine? I imagine he would, actually.
He'd always keep one of those sweat vests on.
Yeah,
sweat vest, yeah. Always. 08459 455 555 is the telephone number if you want to give me a call. Or you can email ian.lee, IAIN.LEE @bbc.co.uk.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
A couple of texts, 81333, starting their text 3CR.
Anonymous says, Disneyland, Florida, you have to be covered up. Men have to have their tops on and you have to dress respectfully. My father got told to put his top on. Good for you. It's much easier... Oh, the weight subject, Lisa in Hitchin. It's much easier for women to broach the weight subject. I'm always gently nagging my husband to lose a pound or two. And I completely agree with Justin. I once went to Ascot a few years ago and couldn't believe how naff it was. I wouldn't pay through the nose again to stand packed in with thousands of others in a place that felt like a Greyhound stadium. 08459 455 555 is the telephone number if you want to... Oh, whoa, guys, what happened there? That was a little bit of reflex of the snake. 08459 455 555, sorry?
What was the snake? I didn't notice the snake. I noticed a stray hand.
Reflex!
Oh, that.
Now, it's feared Badminton England's plans to move to the Milton Keynes Bowl might not happen after all. The £20 million project is an integral part of the redevelopment of the Milton Keynes landmark. But the BBC has discovered that Badminton England may be at least £2 million short meeting its costs. Well, I'm joined now by Labour councillor Peter Marland, leader of Milton Keynes Council. Good morning, Peter.
Morning, Ian.
Peter, what's your understanding of this situation?
I know that this is a situation we've inherited. We only took over the council last week, and it appears that when Badminton England were given planning permission for a facility with 17 courts last year, it appears that they're now unable to deliver that facility because they're quite a bit more than £2 million short, in fact.
How much short have you heard that it is?
On the world-class 17-court facility, I don't know, but I believe it's probably a lot more than £2 million.
Double that? 4 million?
Probably something like that, yeah.
How could there be such a big shortfall, Peter? How could they have got their sum so wrong?
You'd have to obviously ask Badminton England that. The council have been really generous. We're putting in over £10 million into this scheme. We've made sure that there is enabling development where they're going to build houses on some land, and all the profit from that is going to go into building this facility. So I don't think the council could do any more. Some of the sums you'll have to ask Badminton England.
OK, well, we'll speak to them at some point and see what answers they have. So what happens now, Peter? There is talk of it not being a 17-court facility, but possibly a 12-court facility. Do they have to go through the whole planning application again?
I believe there are some reserve matters yet. If Badminton England want to reduce the facility and reduce the community facilities in particular, I think they'll have a really difficult job in convincing our planning committee that they should keep hold of all that money that is going to them from that housing development.
So you're not against a smaller badminton facility as such, but you would probably withhold some of the money?
It's obviously not for me to decide. It's for the development committee to decide. But I think Badminton England would have a really difficult job in persuading the committee that if they're not going to deliver the world-class facility that they promised in the first place, that all that money should carry on going to them. But as a council, we're really committed to delivering that facility. It's just a matter of making sure that we're getting good value for money as a council, as you'd expect.
The badminton facility is intrinsically linked with the housing proposals at Loughton. Would the proposals for the housing have to be approved again?
I don't think the proposal for the housing would have to be approved again. What it is that every time there's a housing proposal scheme accepted, there is something called S106 money, which is money for the community. That money is being linked and given to Badminton England to deliver their facility. I think if Badminton England are coming forward with a different proposal, particularly one that downgrades the community facilities of their scheme, then actually they'd have to convince the committee that all that money should go to Badminton England and carry on going to Badminton England.
And am I right that Labour, which obviously you represent, weren't particularly happy with the proposals for the housing at Loughton because they don't include any affordable housing?
I think at the time it was a really difficult sell, and the sell that it was unanimously passed by planning committee a year ago, but it was done on the understanding that this would be a world-class facility, a facility, you know, for the future of Milton Keynes, and included some really good community facilities. Like I say, I think Badminton England would really struggle to convince a new committee that it would be possible to go forward unless they were delivering that world-class facility for the community.
Badminton England's plans are part of proposals for a large-scale redevelopment of the bowl. What does this mean for that development?
I think there are two different developments. There's a development currently under discussion on a different part of the bowl to deliver a water park. As far as I'm aware, those are completely unaffected by this. But the council really remains committed to delivering Badminton England's facility. It's just now for Badminton England to come forward if they do have any changes and show us how they're going to deliver those. But we're really committed to working with them.
Peter Marland, leader of Milton Keynes Council, thank you very much for that. 08459 455 555 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call on that. We will be speaking to Adrian Christie, Chief Executive of Badminton England, a little bit later on in the show to find out exactly what's going there. And if we get time, I'll ask him to try and sell badminton to me. I don't get it. It's slow tennis. It's tennis for old people, isn't it?
It's extremely energetic, and I wouldn't want to be on the wrong end of one.
You listen. I'm sure. I'm going to stop myself there.
Do.
It's 2 against 1 because I think badminton is better than tennis, and it is much more energetic because you're having to jump up. You can't let the shuttlecock go on the ground.
No, pointier as well.
Yeah.
That's going to hurt. Get you in the eye.
Why do they call it a shuttlecock? That doesn't help their argument at all. It's a ridiculous name that is open to attack and innuendo.
They used to have feathers on, didn't they?
Well,
I
what
had feathers on when I was a kid.
Yeah, I used to have feathers on it when I was a kid as well. So that's why it's called a cock, is it?
I think so. I think so.
Don't get it.
I think it probably used to be a real chicken.
Really? I don't think it ever was.
I mean, if you look at it, it doesn't look it doesn't look like a cockerel's head.
It looks like something being... but...
Anyway,
serious
sport.
But it's not though, is it?
Yeah.
It's slow. It's very hot in here today. Are you guys hot?
Yeah.
It's very hot, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm feeling headachy because
I'm feeling headachy.
Yeah, I've got women's deodorant on and male aftershave.
Okay.
He doesn't know where he's coming and going.
I've got no idea what that means. It's
and
the
I've
first
got a dressing gown as well. So
yeah, we forgot the dressing gowns today, apart from you. And I'm glad we forgot them because it's way too hot. Anyway, it's slow tennis.
Unless we were just wearing the dressing gowns.
It's tennis for old people.
Yes.
It's slow. It's a smaller court. It's a higher net. It's a lighter racket. It's a softer ball.
It's a higher speed.
It's not higher. How is a shuttlecock?
And it's wrist.
Whack it.
Got to have a good wrist for that.
You cannot serve a shuttlecock at 112 miles per hour.
I bet you can actually. I bet you can.
I bet you can't. I bet you can. It's got wind resistors on it.
Well, no. If you're playing indoors, there's no wind, is there?
Exactly. So that's. Well, there's the wind of the motion, you plum.
What?
The wind of the motion?
The wind of the motion.
Is that a song?
In the ocean, everybody say hi. It's not a bad song, actually, is
it's like a song you'd hear on Nesta. Wind of the ocean.
Who's... No, I know Nesta. I'm teasing.
Yeah.
This station
We need to get Gail Ems on to sort you out.
Yeah.
Oh, what?
Gail Ems, badminton champ.
Oh, OK, back to the badminton. I thought this station shut after 9 a.m. in the morning. It turns out there are shows after this and there are shows at the weekend. Who'd have thunk it?
Yeah.
Who'd have thunk it?
This week we're playing Neo, Michael Jackson.
OK, I've really got... just, I've got no idea what he's banging on about at all.
Mariah Carey.
He's still going.
Great.
But Mariah Carey?
Yeah.
On the Black Show?
Yeah, she's a legend. She's in our legends
She's
category.
not black?
She is.
No,
She's
but
mixed.
she's a legend.
She's mixed race.
She's not, is she?
She is, yeah.
Is she really?
Yes.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Do you only play black people on the Black Show?
Pretty much.
Bit racist. 08459 455 555.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the speed sensors in Mark Yates, the A5 heavy going as you head towards Redbourne around the Luton Road, and the M1 busy too on the London-bound carriageway, very heavy between junction 11 for Dunstable and 10 for Luton. The M25 anti-clockwise, very slow between junction 21 for the M1 and 20 for Kings Langley. Also slow between junction 17 for Maple Cross and 16 for the M40. Public transport, no reported problems. I'm Alice Glossop, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you very much. .16. It's Thursday, the 19th of June. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. There's a question mark over development plans at the Milton Keynes Bowl after complications with funding a proposed new badminton centre there. An Islamic extremist from Luton who was under criminal investigation for attacking a man in London has absconded and is believed to have joined jihadists fighting in Syria. And a van driver has been killed in a crash on the M40 on the Buckinghamshire-Oxfordshire border just before 7 p.m. yesterday evening. 08 459 455 555. Would you tell your partner they were fat? Ever been told to cover up? And can someone sell badminton to me? It's just slow tennis.
BBC Three Counties Radio. BBC Three Counties Radio's big tour of beds, hearts and bucks.
All the people seem friendly enough.
And all this week, we're featuring Bletchley.
The best things in Bletchley, I think, are the Blue Lagoon and Manor Field.
Inviting everyone to where you live.
Lovely little market town, really good mix of shops.
Bletchley is a very nice small town. It's a sort of a third town of Milton Keynes, isn't it, really?
Love Bletchley. Absolutely love Bletchley.
If you've got a story everyone should hear about, let us tell them about it.
Very run-down old co-op building.
The empty co-op building, and they need to do something with it.
The big tour of beds, hearts and bucks from BBC Three Counties Radio.
So yesterday, Catherine and I had, morning, having a little set to, a barnet, about pole dancing and whether it was appropriate for children to do it and whether it was always entirely sexual, whether there were other aspects to it. And we mentioned a young lady by the name, I don't know if she's young, I'm being polite, I've not met her yet. Pippa Polnastics. Who, by coincidence, is one of those cases of the job fitting the name. She's a Polnastics woman. And we picked on her, didn't pick on her, but we kind of Googled Polnastics and she popped up in a rather raunchy position. And so we kind of mentioned her. Well, she heard that we mentioned her. She phoned up. She's coming on the show in half an hour. Flippin' heck. Thanks, guys. She's not just coming on the show, she's coming in. Never get somebody into the studio that I've dissed. I don't think I dissed. I think I was quite polite about that. But we will carry on the pole dancing conversation. If you want to have your say, now, give us a call and when you can speak to Pippa. 08459 455 555. Now, yeah, just Kath, one tip. If I've dissed someone, don't get them then to come into the studio to defend themselves.
You didn't diss her.
Where's the fairness in that?
You didn't diss her. You just noticed that she was very flexible.
She was, let's just say, everything was on display.
Well, no, it wasn't.
Well, she was wearing pants.
She was wearing pants.
But behind those pants...
She was also wearing a top.
Yeah.
But she was also showing her flexibility.
I know.
Don't say any more.
Oh, am I making
trying to dig you out of the
Am I making it worse?
Yeah.
What time is she coming on?
10-2.
Is she bringing a pole?
I don't think so.
That's disappointing. Matt, you've not got a spare pole on you, have you?
No.
Why is that funny?
Everything that Iain says is funny.
He's right. He's right.
He does. He makes me
He's
laugh.
new. He'll get used to it.
For goodness sakes. Parents in Berkhamsted are calling for improvements to a dangerous junction to make it safer for school children to cross. Some say you are taking your life into your own hands at the junction where Kings Hill Way meets Kings Road and Shooters Way. Comes as a leading charity for sustainable travel. Sustrans meets with a cross-party group of MPs today to discuss how to make it safer and easier for children to walk and cycle to school. Well, Sarah Green's two children go to Berkhamsted's Ashland School and joins me now. Good morning, Sarah.
Good morning to you.
Sarah, how dangerous is this junction?
I think it's really dangerous. Yes, it's always been a black spot in Berkhamsted, and now that obviously Ashlands has become a senior school, you've got younger children from all over the town making their way there, and if they're walking, they have to cross that road.
Would you feel comfortable about your children using the crossing?
No, I wouldn't feel comfortable at all. I wouldn't like to cross the road there. It's a really dangerous intersection, and you're constantly, even if you've checked left and right, there's traffic always coming from sort of behind you. And so it can change from what you thought you saw. A vehicle can be there before you even know it.
Now, there haven't been any accidents yet, is that right?
I believe no accidents involving pedestrians. There are regularly accidents with cars.
What do you think needs to change at this junction, Sarah? How can they improve it?
Well, I think there's space there to reconfigure that part of the road, either by putting in maybe like a central island that you get for sort of people to cross the road and come halfway and then reassess the situation and walk the second part of the road. But definitely it needs, it's not rocket science. There must be somebody in the county council who's got the power to make a decision to change it.
Well, Sarah, let's find out. We can speak to Dr. Iain Ray, who's a Conservative Herts County councillor for Berkhamsted. Good morning to you, Iain. Are you aware of the danger of this crossing?
I'm very much aware of it, yes. I know that the schools have been very concerned about this junction ever since the schools were reorganised last September. And the County Council has been trying to make some improvements. There have been some removal of vegetation to improve visibility, which has just been mentioned. They put in some footpaths to enable to get children and adults more choices as to where they cross the road, so that there are now more options as to how to cross it. And there have been some signage improvements. Part of the problem there is that that's a road which surveys have shown vehicles consistently go above the speed limit. It's a 30-mile-an-hour zone, and it's a curve within the 30-mile-an-hour zone. And it has been noticed that there have been problems with speeding of cars along that road. So that's one of the issues which is concerned it. But the County Council has spent, since the schools were reorganised last September, the County Council has spent about £20,000 in improving the site. It's not enough. Parents generally are not satisfied that is enough. There is a longer-term proposal to put, and we already have plans for this, it's in the local plan for road improvements, to put traffic signals on the junction.
Well, you mentioned those changes. Have a quick listen to this. This is Chris Rhodes, who lives opposite the junction, and he told us about the recent changes. Have a listen to this, Iain.
The old layout, or the old crossing, or the traditional crossing, however you want to put it, you cross the road once. But here, the kids are coming along, this side of Shooters Way, and then they have to cross Shooters Way and then recross King's Road. So what it's done is it's substituted two crossings for one.
And he went on to say, Iain, that the children are ignoring the crossing because they don't want to cross at the junction twice.
Well, I can understand that. They do have the option of where they cross, but the idea was with the new crossings, where those new crossings are in place, traffic is going more slowly and there is better visibility. One of the concerns with where people cross at the moment is the poor visibility and the difficulty of seeing traffic coming. To some extent, that's been alleviated by some cutting back of vegetation on the corner there, but I do accept that that's not enough and that more needs to be done.
You mentioned speeding. Put up a speed camera.
Oh, there have been lots of surveys there. We've had the blitzes on the area with police and so forth, and there have been some cameras, temporary cameras.
Put up a permanent yellow box camera. Wallop, that'll stop that, wouldn't it?
It would stop it. I'm sure it would certainly help. But the longer term plan, and which is what we're working towards, is to actually put traffic lights there, which would I think completely resolve the problem.
When are you planning to have traffic lights in?
Well, the issue there is not the fact that it's not feasible. It can be done. It's the cost. It's going to be about £350,000 to £400,000.
There shouldn't be. Can I butt in? What are we waiting for? A tragic accident? There is no cost on a child's life.
Well, of course that's the case, but the problem is we have to concern ourselves with with road safety issues across the whole county, and these have to be balanced against each other. There was an accident recently, I think, between a motorcycle and a car, but we don't know what the cause of that was. We haven't had the police report on that. That didn't affect a pedestrian. But we were hoping that certainly within a couple of years we will have a full traffic light system in place. And we have been trying to recruit a school crossing patrol, a lollipop lady. Since January we've been advertising for that, and nobody has come forward for that. And we don't understand, or we have suspicions as to why that is, but we don't understand why nobody's coming forward.
What are your suspicions as to why no one's come forward for that?
Well, because it's actually a very affluent area, and it's for a couple of hours a day at £6.50 an hour. I don't think that's an attractive financial proposition for many people who live in that particular area, and so somebody would have to travel quite a long way to do the job, to do the role. But the county council, it's actually against the county council policy. We wouldn't normally provide school crossing patrols for a school of this kind, but because this junction is so much of concern to us. We have attempted to recruit one, but without success.
Iain, can I ask, the traffic lights that you're proposing to put there possibly in a couple of years, is that simply because of the problem of crossing, or is that because of the planning development that's on the table?
Well, the two are linked because we're hoping that we will get some funding from that development to help improve this crossing. And, of course, any new housing development will increase the amount of traffic as well, so it will make the situation worse. So it's linked, but it's not the entire situation.
So do you have to wait for this planning development to happen before you get the money? And also, that could make the situation worse, couldn't it? If there's going to be an extra 91 new homes, that could be a significant number of cars.
Exactly. And that's one reason why we think it's urgent to get traffic lights in place. And the idea is that they would be in place as soon as possible, hopefully within a couple of years. But that housing development wouldn't be able to fund all of it. It would only be able to fund part of it because the rules say that you can't fund existing problems, but you can only fund problems which are created.
The council is hoping to have some traffic lights there within a couple of years.
Well, we hope so, yes.
Sarah, what's your reaction to that?
Well, I just, as I said before, I don't think it's rocket science. You just make a decision, you put them in, and everybody's safer. But if they want to wait until something tragic happens, and then we all say, we told you so, then that's the way they
When it is something as important, Iain, and I know that the councils are having to do magic with their budgets at the moment, but when it is something as important as, child safety, adult safety, can you really afford to wait a couple of years? You said yourself it's very important. Can you afford to wait that long?
Well, we're doing it as quickly as possible, but we do have financial constraints. I mean, everybody's aware that local government now is under considerable financial pressures. We don't have a great deal of money. We have to work within the budgets that we have, which is why we're trying to extract as much as possible from developers, because they will be exacerbating the situation. There is funding available, but it has to be programmed in, and the work has to be prepared. I mean, as I say, plans are in place, and funding will be available, we hope, within a couple of years.
Final word to you, Sarah.
Well, I think if they planned to make Ashlyns a senior school, then they should have looked at the routes that children were taken to school.
Sarah, thank you very much indeed. That was Sarah Green, whose two children go to Ashlyn School. And the other voice was Dr Iain Ray, who is a Conservative County Councillor for Berkhamsted.
Call 08459 455 555.
BBC Three
Man,
Counties
it's a
Radio.
tough one. It's £350,000 to install some traffic lights? Really? I've got a bloke who'll do it for £2,000. 08459 455 555 if you want to have your say on that.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
The A1M southbound around junction 7 for Stevenage, heavy going on the sensors. Also in Kings Langley, we've got the normal queues building up as you head towards the M25. The M25 itself anti-clockwise, it's still very slow between junction 21 for the M1 and 20 for Kings Langley. Also struggling between junction 17 for Maple Cross and 16 for the M40. Public transport, no reported problems. I'm Alice Glossop, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Across beds, hearts and bugs.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 7:30. I'm Simon Oxley. There's a question mark over development plans at the Milton Keynes Bowl after complications with funding a proposed new badminton centre there. An Islamic extremist from Luton who was under criminal investigation for attacking a man in London has absconded and is believed to have joined jihadists fighting in Syria. A van driver has been killed in a crash on the M40 on the Buckinghamshire-Oxfordshire border just before 7 o'clock yesterday evening, and firefighters have tackled a blaze overnight at a former old people's home in Leagrave High Street in Luton. The cause is being investigated.
Three Counties Sports.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
The defending champions Spain have been knocked out of the World Cup after losing to Chile.
The ball is played across, chance for Vargas, kept his feet and scored! Casillas to his left, tanks it away, and then the shot is into the net! Chile have scored again!
The 2-0 defeat means Spain become the first defending champions to lose their opening 2 group games. It means Chile and the Netherlands progress from Group B. That's after the Dutch beat Australia 3-2. Also last night, Cameroon went out after a 4-0 defeat by Croatia. Tonight, of course, it's England versus Uruguay. Captain Steven Gerrard has warned his teammates they face a summer of misery and regret if their World Cup hopes are wrecked.
The message is quite clear, and I have spoke to the group during the week to reiterate that message of the pain of going out at World Cups, and it's something that we don't want. We want to stay here for as long as possible. I'm sure all the young lads and everyone in the squad's aware how difficult a summer it's going to be if we fail.
And it's an 8 o'clock kick-off our time. Before that, it's Colombia versus the Ivory Coast at 5, with Japan versus Greece at 11. In golf, the Women's US Open starts today at Pinehurst. Lucy Williams is making her debut. The Mid-Hearts golfer says the nerves could kick in on the first tee.
I think that's going to be the biggest moment is when they say from England, Lucy Williams, and I think might be a little bit nervous, but if I make the cut, I'll be over the moon. So my first major, if I make the cut, would be sky high, so hopefully I can just play my own game and do that.
And in rugby, England have made 7 changes to their starting lineup for Saturday's third and final test against New Zealand. Meanwhile, Bedford's Aaron Morris starts at fullback for England under-20s in tomorrow's Junior World Cup final against South Africa. That's also in New Zealand. BBC Three Counties News and Sport. The next full bulletin is at 8.
Call 08459 455 555.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
That's the telephone number. Lots to talk about this morning. Let's have a quick recap. Why are we talking about, would you tell your partner if they were fat? What was the story?
Because there's a group of men in the Mail Online who addressed the unaddressable for many. With varying degrees of success and offence.
Did the women get offended by it?
Some of them did. Some of them did, and some sorted themselves out.
I've been thinking about this.
One of the women, I thought it was quite harsh. One of the women had just given birth, and he said, "Oh, you have put a lot of weight on."
I know, but still,
then's not the time. You've got to choose your moments.
All right,
when you got you there, you're fine. All right, I'll speak to you next. Okay.
My gran grabbed hold of my midriff when I'd had a baby about 2 weeks before and went, "Oh, you want to sort that out, love?"
People that annoy me. People who say click instead of clique. And people who say midriff instead of midriff.
Midriff.
Midriff. Yeah, some people say midriff.
Wow. Sometimes it does drift.
But it's still inappropriate. So we're talking about that, and I've been thinking about this a lot. I've got the answer to this. You can only do it to someone you really love.
Yeah.
You can only do it to someone you really love. You can only tell someone you really love that they stink, that they've got bad breath.
There are nice ways of doing it, though.
Well, there are nice ways of doing it.
The bad breath one, the code in our house is, "Oh, what have you eaten?"
Oh, you have a code?
Mm-hmm.
That's great.
We know what it means. Sort it out.
You can only tell someone who you really love. Isn't that right, Just? You can only say these things to someone that you really love.
Or somebody you really hate.
Well, no, I don't think. Even you, and you can be a very cold, cruel man.
What? Me?
Some of the pranks you get up to. What you do with your mate's boots.
Yeah. Morning, Dwayne.
Good morning, Dwayne. Hope you've cleaned that off.
Mm.
Oh dear.
He was asking for it.
What did he do wrong? Are you allowed to say?
Yeah, he didn't buy a round of drinks when he was meant to.
Okay, so
it's payback.
Payback. You did something very, very unpleasant and but completely natural to his boot. But even you, in your coldest, most callous moment, couldn't go up to someone who you didn't like. I don't know, Shaggy, for example, here at work, and say to him, "Shaggy, you stink."
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't. By the way, Shaggy doesn't stink.
No, he doesn't.
But you couldn't.
Very clean.
He's one of the cleanest people I know. You couldn't say it to someone you hated, but you could say it to Shaggy because you love him.
No, I do love Shaggy, right? But I think you got a point here. It's down to his partner, and it's down to everyone's partner.
Well, no, hang on. Shaggy's partner doesn't smell.
No, I'm not saying she does, but I'm just saying that's her job. If he does genuinely smell, and he's got a problem there, that's going to be down to the person who loves him the most to have that conversation.
The worst thing, having been the partner of someone who had a number of different things, is that you train them up and sort them out, and then someone else pinches them.
Oh,
because suddenly they become an attractive proposition. All of a sudden.
So what you're saying is you aim low, you reel them in.
While they're vulnerable and there's something you can solve.
Then you bring them up.
Yeah.
But then they get approached by more attractive women.
Then they get all confident in that.
You should be on that makeover programme. That sounds great. We can make over a guy.
Make over and then take over.
Yes.
Do you remember Queer Eye for the Straight Guy?
Yes.
Oh, brilliant.
Good programme, that. Great.
Yeah.
They should put that on BBC Three.
They're getting rid of BBC Three.
Well.
Oh my God. Maria, stay there. Because I know you want to talk about badminton, don't you?
Yes.
Yes. Are you? And we will talk about badminton in a second because I don't understand it. It's slow tennis. It's tennis for old women.
I know it is.
Isn't it just? Oh,
Yes.
I'm glad she agrees with me. I've been getting a lot of calls recently, and I don't know whose fault this is, Catherine.
I used to play it as a girl.
Did you? Yeah, I've been getting I've been getting a lot of calls, Catherine. I don't know whose fault this is, Catherine, from people who disagree with me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Maria agrees with me.
I think maybe some of your opinions need some...
Hang on. What you ar'd there, Maria? Why did you? What's the R's for?
I've got friends up the road.
Yes.
He was playing badminton and he's broken his leg and he's off for 9 months.
Oh, hang on, Justin. We'll come to you in a second. We flipped and flopped, and I don't.
Doesn't sound like such a soft game anymore, eh?
No. How did he break his? How did he break his leg? And B, 9
He was
months.
playing badminton.
Yeah.
That's all I know.
That's the whole
and
story.
He's off from work and he works in London, a very good
You
job.
got on the air with that. Wow.
And he's broken his leg and he's off for 9 months with it.
You say a very good job in London. I'll be the judge of that. What job is it?
I don't know. I don't ask.
Okay, so he's a friend
It's
of
not my
yours.
business.
He's a friend of yours. You don't know what his job is, but you know it's very good and it's in London. And you don't know exactly how he broke his leg.
No. He broke it
Close
by
friend?
playing badminton.
Well, how can you break it by playing badminton? It's a sport
he
for old
did.
people.
That's true. She was so upset. She's working so hard, poor woman. They're such a nice couple too.
So, hang on, who broke the leg? The woman?
No, the good husband did.
The good husband. Okay. And what about the bad husband? I'm confused. Justin, you carry on with this.
I'm slightly confused as well. I'm just thinking about my phone in later on. Have you ever been injured by a shuttlecock?
Well, he has. He's off for 9 months and he's having to go to hospital and what have you.
Flipping it. I mean, we were laughing,
Backwards
but
and forwards and changing
don't laugh, you cry.
the plaster and all this nonsense.
And his poor wife, she's having to look after him, isn't she?
And this is the thing, Maria.
He cannot go up the stairs. He's having to sleep downstairs. Everything.
God, wow. 9 months.
Terrible. 9 months. I couldn't get over it when I heard it.
9 months.
9 months.
Yeah.
9 months.
9 months.
How long is he off work for again?
Well, he was off early March, I believe.
Right.
And his leg's going to be broken for what?
For 9 months.
9 months.
Did you say 9 months, Maria?
9 months.
It's done up. It's done up.
Like
in
a kipper.
plaster.
Done up like a
and
kipper.
And he can't move
A
it.
plastery kipper. Justin, can you believe that? 9 months?
Really? 9 months? That's a long time, 9 months, isn't it?
Well, it is. He must have broken it horrifically.
Yeah.
Terrible.
In many places.
And horrific badminton leg break.
Can he go to the toilet himself, Maria?
Not really. I think he has a job.
Right. But 9 months, as you say, long time.
He has a what?
But he'll gradually regain the use of his leg over that time. He won't
Over
be
the 9 months.
so helpless for 9 months, will he?
You'd imagine that maybe by 8 months he'll be up and about and he could go to the
I
toilet.
reckon 6.
Comfortably, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I love you and leave you.
All right,
Thanks, Maria.
So
I keep saying prayers for him.
Yeah, well, listen, that's all we can do. And listen, he'll be in my prayers tonight before I go to bed. But how long did you say again, Maria?
I think it was done early March.
And how long's he going to be off for?
Well, it's 9 months.
9 months. Justin?
It's a long time. It's a very long time. I'm trying to think back. What was I doing 9 months ago? It's a very long time. 9 months? Seriously? 9 whole months?
Yes, she told me. She's a nice woman, too.
And she wouldn't lie,
Does
would
all
she?
the garden self and shopping, and her in-law, her mother saw me on the bus and she's going to help them today and took him out to lunch for a change because he can't go anywhere, you see.
So you've got no reason to doubt that injury caused by a shuttlecock has been going on for 9 months?
I think they must have a wheelchair to get him in the car as well because he can't walk.
Iain, can you put this out there? Shuttlecock injuries across beds, Herts and Bucks.
08459 455 555.
Maria, listen, he's in our thoughts. You've been a really good sport, and the sport being the operative word here. And we wish your friend. Well, you say 9 months. Let's hope it's a little bit less than that.
Yes, let's hope so.
Is that who's barking?
That's my one of my dogs.
What's your dog called?
Bing.
Bing.
Sounds like a puppy. Is he 9 months old?
He's just 2 coming
he's
up
2.
September.
Okay. Is he named after Bing Crosby?
Yes.
Oh.
Because I'm a theatre person. I'm a professional singer.
Are you really?
Oh,
Maria, go on.
I've been off because I've been in and out of hospital with my leg and feet.
How long were you in hospital for?
And all this. I've got to get balanced. I had a fall.
Oh, blimey, Maria.
1 month and 3 weeks, but now it's getting better. Friends of mine who painted me, because I'm so vibrant, she gave me the oil of coconut and it's healed it. The other one that the doctor gave me, I'm afraid to say that it infected it, but I'm better now, and it's knitting lovely. And when I went to Stanmore for my feet last week, they x-rayed the leg, and it was cracked.
The doctor infected you, Maria?
Singing up the woods.
The doctor infected you?
Up the woods.
9 months?
Well, no, not for me.
No.
Oh, right.
What? He's got the stories.
Oh, right.
Ignore him.
He's not usually on this programme. He won't be again.
Maria, it's interesting you mentioned that you are so vibrant, because I was kind of trying to communicate that thought to you, Catherine. Did you pick that up?
I certainly did.
Vibrancy. Maria?
Yes?
Is there any chance that Bing could say 9 months?
Bing, no.
Doesn't speak?
No,
Okay.
Bing wouldn't say that.
What would he say?
Bing? Bingy boy.
No.
He's a dash hound. He's the biggest of dash hounds.
Oh, there we go.
He's all fluffy and long fur.
Beautiful.
What do you
I've got
feed
him
him?
in Cambridge. And he breeds the shepherd dogs.
He does what?
He breeds the shepherd's dogs as well.
He breeds a shepherd's dog. Maria, listen, I could talk to you all morning. You're absolutely wonderful. You're right about your vibrancy. And maybe next time when you call in, we'll get you to sing.
All right.
Take care, Maria. Lots of luck to you and your friend.
Cheers.
Ta-ta.
Bye.
Bye-bye. There we go.
Oh, wonderful.
9 months, Justin.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible.
What a story.
Yeah.
Badminton, eh?
You see, anyway, we'll talk about badminton in a bit. 08459 455 555. The reason we've got you on, Justin, would you tell your missus or your boyfriend, husband, wife, lover, that they were fat?
Yeah. It's a good talking point in this morning's Daily Mail. Something which some people, of course, would never say to their partners. Iain, I've been getting deep and personal with people in Leagrave this morning about this particular subject. Here's what people had to say. So you have said to your partner, you're getting a bit fat.
Yeah.
What happened?
Anytime I say it, she gets embarrassed, but she doesn't want to work out, so...
So has she lost weight then, off the back of these conversations?
No.
How many times have you said this?
Like 2 or 3 times.
You're not getting very far, are you?
No, we're not getting very far.
Are you going to walk out on her?
Probably.
What?
Probably. Because she's not working out, she's not doing anything about it.
And you don't feel like you're being harsh, you feel like you're doing this for her as well. You want her to be attractive for herself and not just you.
I was fat before, I worked on my tummy too. So she should do that as well.
So she should be looking to you for inspiration?
Yeah, she should do that as well.
Hopefully the message is out there. Thanks, sir.
All right.
Les, tell me your story. What did you say to your partner?
I said, you're getting a bit chubby, girl.
When was this?
A couple of years back.
Did she slap you?
No.
But she did nothing about it?
Oh, yeah, she lost weight.
Oh, she did?
Oh, yeah.
And you were doing the right thing? You didn't feel like you was being harsh? You thought, I'm doing this for you, love?
Yeah, of course it is. All out of me.
You're a top geezer, aren't you?
I am.
Now, madam, I want to know this morning, have you ever said to your husband, you're looking a bit porky?
Yeah, I call him Porky Bill.
Porky Bill? Morning, Porky Bill. So you've had that conversation. Has he done anything about his weight?
He does try occasionally to be very good, but, you know, he likes his sweeties and life is too short.
Fahan, how are you this morning? You well?
No bad.
Fantastic. Now, Iain wants me to ask you this morning, have you ever said to your partner, you're getting a bit porky, you need to lose some weight? Have you ever said that to your partner?
She says that to me, actually. I haven't myself. She'll slap me.
Not worth the hassle?
No.
So what's she saying to you then?
She says I need to lose some weight.
How much do you weigh?
23 stones.
23 stone?
Yeah.
Wow.
I need to lose weight.
How does it make you feel, though? Because she's saying to you, you need to lose weight.
Well, she's right in a way, because, you know, health-wise, I need to lose weight.
You're a handsome guy. Do you think that she still finds you sexy?
Yeah, sure, she does.
I should hope so, too.
Yeah.
If not, I'll go and have a word with her.
Yeah, I will.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Justin, I again, please don't flirt with the people you speak to in the street.
OK.
We've had a tweet from Carpet Martin. I'd never be silly enough to tell my partner she was fat. I'm more subtle. I'd say something like, chins up, love, when she's upset. That normally does the trick. Hashtag try juicing.
Brilliant. I'll tell you what, though, he's a nice guy. Unlike that first man who was outrageous, saying to his partner 2 or 3 times, you need to lose weight, work on your tummy, or I'm going to walk out on you. Incredible.
But if they have made a significant physical change while you are with them, they are not the same person that you went with.
You see, yes, not the same person appearance-wise, but inside, absolutely the same person.
Well, are they? Greedier? Hungrier?
No, not at all, not at all. I think there are certain ways of approaching the situation, and if you love your partner and you really care about them, you would approach that in a sensitive manner, not like that first person saying, you need to work out or we're over.
Just what you're doing in the next hour?
Well, whatever you want me to. What? Badminton, shuttlecock injuries, 9-month injuries. What are you after?
Well, I'll tell you the things we've got on the table so far. We've got Royal Ascot.
Yep.
We've
Told to cover up.
Told to cover up.
Yep.
And we've got shuttlecock injuries.
Shuttlecock injuries could be few and far between, but if they're anything like Maria's, they could be cracking.
Justin, listen, surprise me. Go out there and see what you can get on whatever you fancy.
OK, cheers, boss.
Good lad, ta-ta, there we go.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
At the Clop Hill roundabout, the A6 southbound approach is queuing at the moment. Also in Kings Langley, there are queues on the A41 as you head towards the M25. The M25 itself, anti-clockwise, very slow between junction 21 for the M1 and 16 for the M40. Also, the M1 London bound, heavy going between junction 10 for Luton and 9 for Redbourne. The Kidneywood roundabout also looking very heavy as you go between the roundabout and the motorway. Public transport has no reported problems. I'm Alice Glossop, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Alice, thank you very much. 7:47, it's Thursday the 19th of June. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. There's a question mark over development plans at the Milton Keynes Bowl after complications with funding a proposed new badminton centre there. Virgin Trains has secured a deal to continue to run the West Coast Main Line through the three counties until March 2017. And an Islamic extremist from Luton, who was under criminal investigation for attacking a man in London, has absconded and is believed to have joined jihadists fighting in Syria. Let's get the latest weather.
Beds, Herts and Bucks weather.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
You can do this.
Let's get the weather.
Darling.
There we go.
Let's get the latest weather. Matt, you muffed it up?
No, he's just working through it.
He's...
She should be there.
Oh, great! She should be there. Are you there? Hello, weather. Hello.
Time. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I can listen. Look, I'm not angry. Oh, I'm not angry with you at all.
No, well, it's not my fault. Sitting here waiting for you.
No, I know you are. I know you're sitting there waiting. It's the idiot. I've got Matt Lockwood working with us today. Apologies. Let's have an excellent weather bulletin as always.
Can you make a round of tea now, please, to make up for his...
Matt, go and put the cough on, please.
Just milk for me.
It's being done. Away you go.
Lovely. Good morning. Well, here I am with the weather, and we do have... we've had a sunny start to the day. It's been somewhat humid. Temperature in Luton at the moment is 16 degrees, and it's really picking up quickly. So we'll be looking at highs today of around sort of 21, 22 degrees, something like that. But what we've got also arriving in the sky from the north is some cloud. That's a weak cold front, and it's going to introduce maybe one or two spots of rain here and there, but really it's just a spell of cloud that we're looking at through the first part of this afternoon especially. It will clear south. We'll have a return to the mostly sunny conditions through the evening, but what you'll definitely notice is a reduction in the humidity. It's going to be much fresher into tonight, which will be a relief, I think, to some, because it was quite uncomfortable for sleeping last night. Temperatures will be similar, 11 or 12 degrees, but it won't be as humid. So for Friday, Saturday and Sunday, there's always the risk of an isolated shower, but for the most part, we're going to get some really lovely dry and sunny weather, with temperatures not doing too badly. For Friday, we're looking at 21 degrees, something like that. I think by Sunday, in some sunshine, we could be approaching the mid-20s. So not great for watering the gardens, but some pleasant weather to come over the next few days.
Roberto Perrone.
Gardeners wanting to rid their spring flower beds of snails can ditch the beer traps and eggshells and instead develop a strong throwing arm instead.
Weekdays from 3.
I don't think there's any ethical dilemma about throwing them as opposed to killing them. It's clearly better to throw them.
Hertfordshire Police are warning drivers to take extra precautions with their vehicles following a rise in the number of cars stolen using specialised hacking equipment. 2/3 of teachers say poor writing has prevented them giving the marks a student truly deserves.
Roberto Perrone.
I do the animal stories. I also do the space stories, apparently.
Weekdays from 3 on BBC Three Counties Radio.
Would you tell your partner you were fat? We're also doing shuttlecock injuries. We've had a text on shuttlecock injuries. That's to come. But before that, Kasha's in Welland. Good morning, Kasha.
Good morning, Iain.
Good morning, Kasha.
Good morning, Iain.
Good morning, Kasha.
Hello.
Kasha, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Excellent. Good morning.
Good morning.
Kasha?
Yes?
Good morning.
I said good morning about 5 times.
What have you called in for?
The fat thing. When your husband tells you and you're fat, and you tell your husband your toes stinks and stuff like this.
You tell your husband you're toasting?
Oh my God, yeah, he's got these brand new shoes, and every time he wears them, oh my God, his toes smells like cheese.
Oh, toes stink. I thought you said toasting.
No, his feet.
He's got stinky feet. So your husband's got stinky feet and you're fat. It sounds like a great couple.
Yeah, but we love each other.
And that's all that counts, doesn't it?
It's not a big deal. Who else is going to tell me I look like a lesbian, fat lesbian, and I'm overweight? He has to tell me those things, does he?
So, he just comes out and says, Kasha, you look like a fat lesbian, and does he want you to do something about it, or does he like it?
Oh, yeah, he tells me, I'm going to start training you, watch. If you do the boxer size, you're going to look skinny soon. But the lesbian thing is, when I cut my hair short, my head is so big. I do look like a lesbian, and a bit scary though, because I don't want to be approached by lesbians.
Okay, well, listen, I'm sure you are. Of course, there are. The lesbian community is a mixed bunch, and most of them are wonderful, wonderful looking women with normal size heads and with great hair. But but your husband's stinky feet. Does that? I mean, how often are you down that end?
Oh my God! Just yesterday, I came to him for a hug, and I thought, oh my God, what's that smell? And he went to me, oh, it's my sexy feet again. And I thought, oh my God, they're not sexy. Can you just wash them off? And he's like, no, this is sexual smell. So
his feet have a sexual smell.
That's what he thinks.
Does he never wash them at all?
Oh, he does. Yeah.
Yeah.
He does.
Okay.
But we got this banter sort of going on when he tells me, oh my God, you look so fat, and I'm like, oh no, I'm just fat and sexy, baby. And he's like, no, just leave the fat out.
You really do sound. You do sound like a revolting couple.
Oh, we're lovely. We've been together for 14 years, so I know the boogie things, and I know men. Oh my God, men are absolutely disgusting when it comes to them things. And it's not only him. I know every man who does them things. Smelling his fingers.
Okay, Kasha, thank you so much. Thank you so much for that call. That's Kasha in That's Kasha in there, and I hope nobody was offended by any of the content of that call. Of course, it was just nice to get an interesting and honest snapshot of a relationship.
Very loving marriage.
Very loving marriage. I don't know how long a marriage could survive that. I suppose.
No.
But,
no, not feet like that.
Good for them. No, the other. 0844.
The other thing is bad too.
Where's Pip and Astix?
I don't know.
Oh, she's bottled it. He bottled it, Pip. He bottled it.
Don't say that.
Why is she coming? Right.
She's supposed to be coming. We hope that she's all right.
If you're
listening, give us a call.
If she's not coming, she's bottled it. If she is coming, I'm looking forward to meeting her a little bit later on. She's tweeted. She's been tweeting me.
Has she? What did she say?
Morning.
Oh. So she's been listening. This is the worry. She's been listening.
Oh.
And maybe
I wasn't rude about
have
her.
A conversation with you.
She wants to have a conversation with me. Maybe she's gone back to get her pole.
No, I don't think.
You can get portable poles.
I'm sure you can. I don't think that our...
Some might argue that there are too many portable poles over here. They're far too portable. I'm making a satirical reference to the perceived influx of... perceived and literal influx of the Polish community into this country since the border controls were loosened.
As we established last week, people don't got beef with that. I was just looking at those... ceiling tiles, and if you were to erect a portable pole in there, it would cause all kinds of mayhem.
No, it's a very low centre of gravity. It's like a bus. You can't topple a double-decker bus. You would think a double-decker...
They were spring-loaded.
But you can just put sandbags around the bottom.
Oh, right.
You can't push over a double-decker bus. Low centre of gravity, baby. Low centre of gravity. That's why they can go really fast around corners. Did you know that, Matt?
Have you tried to push over a double-decker bus?
Yeah, of course.
Have you?
Ever pushed a sleeping cow over?
No.
You've never done that?
No. What have I pushed over?
08459 455 555.
Thanks, Matt.
But Lockwood in the house. We will ask you in a second, Matt, but let's put this out there. What have you pushed over? 08459 455 555. Matt, ever pushed anything over?
I'm just going to write a note to myself and think about it. What have I pushed over?
He's got to write it down, and he thought of it.
Yeah.
I mean, I've pushed a tree over.
Right.
Yeah.
An uprooted tree.
Mm-hmm. Not from a standing position. It was already uprooted.
Well, it was loose.
You didn't do a Hulk and...
No. It was loose. It was loose. I must have pushed something interesting over.
I bounced a car before, but not pushed.
How did you bounce it? Was there a child trapped under it? Did you tap into that inner strength?
Someone needed to move their car and...
I've bounced a car. Everyone's bounced a car.
Yeah.
Was it on gravel? Yeah.
No, it wasn't on gravel.
Oh. By the way, coming up after the news at 8, we've seen to a woman who is fascinated by fascinators. And we're also playing Guess the Year.
Did you see the Facebook comments about the telling your wife
read them to
or partner that they have put a few too many
Read them
on?
to me, and then I want Matt to read the texts about shuttlecock injury.
Okay, here we go. Barbara says, what about the other way around? How would you feel if your wife told you that you were fat?
I would be upset, I'd be offended, I'd be angry, but the anger would be simply to mask my disappointment and my low self-esteem. Yeah. I would go away, I'd probably eat on it, and then this is true, and then I would go back and apologise for losing my temper, and I would thank her for her honesty.
What if she phrased it differently? You know, the way I...
Hey, you looking well fat! Who's this fat man in my house?
No, what if she did what I did and subtly changed everyone's diets?
I'd go, are you saying I'm fat?
I'd say, look, I think we could all lose a few.
But you're not fat.
Well, you're not fat, but we could get healthier.
I don't need to. I'm happy.
Everybody needs to. He knew.
All right, start again.
Dressing for his belly.
Start again. Do that with me again.
Okay. Hey, I've just thought we could both do with losing a few pounds. We're getting towards middle age. Let's sort ourselves out.
Right. First of all, you're in middle age. Secondly, we work together. Why are you saying this to me? Start again. I've got another one.
Oh no.
No, go on. I've got another one. Go on.
I'm trying to give people good ideas here about gentle ways to change your life for the better.
I know. Go on. Again.
Hey, honey. You look good today. Is that a new haircut?
I had it cut a couple of weeks ago, yeah.
Shame about the belly, though. Let's sort it out.
Oh, now that's what I'm talking about. Hey, Matt.
Yeah, I just said to my girlfriend, don't worry, you're not fat.
What, just spontaneously you came out with that?
Yeah.
That'll do it.
Yeah.
Flippin' heck. Oh, Matt, can you read the text about badminton injury, please?
Where's the text?
You're acting like it's a surprise. I warned you 3 minutes ago.
I've got another Facebook if you want to cover up for him.
Yeah.
Drake Winston Hardcastle. It depends. She was an 8 when we met. Now, after 2 kids, she's a 10 to 12. She's not doing badly.
Yeah.
If she was not taking care of herself or her health was at risk or is moaning about it, I may do, but not before booking in at the Travel Lodge for a week.
Ba-dum-dum-dum.
The text is that good, I think we should save it until after
the
news. You can't
find it, can you?
It's very, very good, that text message. It's worth
you can't
listening
find
to this
it.
programme for.
Read it off there.
Right, OK. Right, our daughter was hit in the eye with a shuttlecock when she was in junior school, and we had many trips to hospital. Anne from Milton Keynes. I thought it was going to be better than that.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the M1 London bound between junction 11 for Dunstable and 10 for Luton, 2 lanes are blocked after an accident. Very slow on the approach back to junction 12 for Flitwick. Public transport, that's all looking good with no reported problems. I'm Alice Glossop, BBC Three Counties Radio.
So, Pippa, I do apologise. She's been upstairs for 15 minutes. No one told us. We'll speak to you in a bit, Pippa. Don't worry.
Local and vocal across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 8 o'clock. I'm Simon Oxley. The headlines: Milton Keynes Council leader wants answers over badminton plans at the Bowl. Virgin given new contract for the West Coast Main Line. And Luton extremists thought to be fighting in Syria.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
There's a question mark over development plans at the Milton Keynes Bowl after complications with funding a proposed new badminton centre there. Badminton England has been given the go-ahead for a 17-court facility at the Bowl, partly funded by the sale of land at their existing facility in Loughton, but they're facing a shortfall. New council leader, Labour's Peter Marland, says it could be as much as £4 million.
The council have been really generous. We're putting in over £10 million into this scheme. We've made sure that there is enabling development where they're going to build houses on some land, and all the profit from that is going to go into building this facility. So I don't think the council could do any more. Some of the sums you'll have to ask Badminton England.
Virgin Trains has secured a deal to continue to run the West Coast Main Line through the three counties until March 2017. Virgin say there will be significant improvements for passengers with the introduction of free superfast Wi-Fi, more seats and new services. The government originally awarded the contract to First Group, but the process was scrapped due to errors in the bidding process. An Islamic extremist from Luton who was under criminal investigation for attacking a man in London has absconded and is believed to have joined jihadists fighting in Syria. Abu Rahin Aziz was yesterday convicted in his absence, as Matt Prodger reports.
Abu Rahin Aziz is a British extremist from Luton who's spoken in support of ISIS, the jihadist group at the heart of the recent unrest in Iraq. He's posted videos on YouTube. In May last year, Abu Aziz was arrested by police for a violent attack on a man leaving a pub in central London. The victim was set upon by a group of Islamists who had been protesting outside the American embassy nearby. Aziz left the UK in March while on bail, and the BBC's been told he headed to Syria to fight with jihadists.
A van driver has been killed in a crash on the M40 on the Buckinghamshire-Oxfordshire border. It happened just before 7 o'clock yesterday evening when his van was in collision with an HGV on the southbound carriageway between junction 6 for Watlington and 5 at Stokenchurch. The motorway was closed for several hours. Firefighters have tackled a blaze overnight at a former old people's home in Leagrave High Street in Luton. They were called to the derelict Westley home at around 10:15 last night. The cause is being investigated. Parents at Berkhamsted's Ashlyn School are calling for improvements to a dangerous junction. It comes as a charity for sustainable travel meets with MPs today to discuss how to make it safer and easier for children to walk and cycle to school. County Councillor Dr Iain Ray says they're looking at installing traffic lights and have been trying since January to recruit a crossing patrol.
It's actually a very affluent area, and it's for a couple of hours a day at £6.50 an hour. I don't think that's an attractive financial proposition for many people who live in that particular area, and so somebody would have to travel quite a long way.
In sport, holders Spain are out of the World Cup after losing 2-0 to Chile. Tonight it's England versus Uruguay, with Liverpool's Luis Suarez expected to return for the South American side. The weather, cloud breaking up to leave another warm and sunny day, a maximum temperature 21 degrees Celsius. And you can get the latest news and sport online at bbc.co.uk/3 counties.
Morning, this is Iain Lee, BBC Three Counties Radio. Apologies to our guest Pippa. She's been upstairs for the last 20 minutes. Thanks for telling us, guys. Thanks for telling us, guys, who let her in and made her coffee. Thanks, guys. Pippa, we will get you on very soon. I'm very sorry. A, you've been left waiting, and B, I'm very, very sorry that you heard Catherine being rude about you.
What? I wasn't rude.
The words I was saying that could have been construed as rude were written by you. It was a scripted piece by Catherine. Don't argue.
Oh, you're such a scaredy cat.
Oh, for goodness sakes. Lots coming up on the show. Pole dancing, pole nastics, Milton Keynes Bowl, shuttlecock injuries. Can someone explain badminton? Would you tell your partner they were fat? What have you pushed over? Ever been told to cover up? An ascot. It's a bit chabby, isn't it? I think that's everything.
Yeah, 08459 455 555. Take your pick.
That'll do. Take your pick.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
Yeah.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's like a picnic. The much-heralded Badminton England Arena at Milton Keynes Bowl could be under threat. The £20 million project is an integral part of the development of the Bowl and of Milton Keynes' sporting legacy. But the BBC has discovered that Badminton England may be at least £2 million short, and we've heard possibly as much as £4 million short of the money it needs for the development. Adrian Christie is the Chief Executive of Badminton England. Adrian, how have we got this so wrong?
Well, I think the first thing probably to say is that everybody is doing everything they possibly can to try and ensure that the vision that both Badminton England and Milton Keynes Council had to develop the bowl and develop international sport in City and to put the National Badminton Arena onto the site of the bowl will continue. I think when we achieved planning consent, probably just over a year ago, actually, I think it was now, one of the things that I remember saying to the council at the time was that in order for this to happen, we needed to be able to realise the full value of the site that we currently occupy and the land adjacent to us in Loughton. And if the full value wasn't forthcoming into the project, then it would absolutely jeopardise A, what we could build, and B, whether we could actually build it at all. And that's the position that we're in right now.
How much is the shortfall?
It's difficult. I keep being asked that question. It's difficult to say because there's a number of funders that are contributing to the project overall, and we're waiting on the outcome of our application to Sport England, which was seeking a maximum £2 million for that. Now,
Peter Marland, leader of Milton Keynes Council, thinks you could be as much as £4 million short.
Well, I think it ultimately depends what we want to build. You know, the development that we wanted to put onto the bowl was a fantastic facility for both world-class sport, major events, and the local community. Now, depending on ultimately what scheme we build, and the one that we want to build is the 17-court facility that we got planning consent for, then that figure's not going to be too far short. But that's why I say it's absolutely integral to the whole project that we achieve the full maximum value of that site. That whatever the value of that site is realised, the full value of that is put into the project.
So if you go for the 17-court arena, you're £4 million short. If you go for the 12-court arena, you're £2 million short. It's still a massive amount of money, isn't it?
Well, I mean, as I say, we don't know exactly what the exact figure is yet.
Roughly.
Well, until we know who's putting what into the pot.
The council aren't going to put any more in, are they?
Well, I think, ultimately what I'm hoping that the council will do is realise that this project is really important, not just for the sporting legacy of Milton Keynes, but the economic impact that it will bring. And
they've already put £10 million in, haven't they?
Well, no, I think the council are putting in the full value of the land.
Right.
So once we know what the full value of the land is that's coming into the project, then you can start to put a figure on it. At the moment, the full value of the land is what's currently being discussed right now.
The work was... this was supposed to have opened in spring 2015.
Yep.
I'm surprised that with it being that close, and I'm assuming you won't make that you're still not quite sure of the figures.
Well, the figures are actually determined ultimately by the complexity. I mean, I think what you need to understand is the complexity of the land ownership and the leaseholders that are on Bradwell Road is enormous.
But you would have known this going into the project when you came up with the date of 2015.
Of course we did. But what we also, going into it at 2015 was on the basis of saying, if this all runs smoothly and we're able to achieve the land value, then on our side, then 2015 was absolutely a possibility. And remember, one of the things that I said right at the outset with this was that we want to be in that new arena preparing for the Olympic Games in Rio. Our Olympic qualification starts in May next year. So it's in our interests to make sure that facility is open in time for Rio. As a consequence of the deliberations and the discussions and negotiations around the complexity of land, that's put that date now in serious jeopardy.
So what date are you looking at?
Hang on, it hasn't put the project in jeopardy.
Right. What date are you looking at now to be opening?
Well, I think if we can get this resolved, and as I say, everyone's working hard to try to resolve this. If we can get this resolved in the next maybe three to 4 months, we're looking at a build programme of around about 16 months. Okay. So we're probably looking, hopefully, round about, I'd say, probably the end of next year, the early part of 2016.
Is that not a little optimistic? Because if you do go for the 12-court facility, you're going to have to go through the planning permission again, aren't you? And that could take a long time.
Yeah, we would have to go through planning consent again, and I mean we're ready if all of the numbers can get stacked up. We're ready to go into planning in the autumn. So on our side, we're ready to go. We know what needs to be done, but I think what's more, and put the Olympic preparation for one side. I'm not discounting how critically important that is to us. But what is very, very important is the long-term benefits, as I say, not just to us, but to the city.
Finally, Adrian, rumours are around that you're thinking of abandoning the bowl and moving to the Leisure Plaza instead.
Well, I think that, for you mentioned the figure of £20 million earlier on.
Is that true?
For what, the bowl?
You're moving to the Leisure Plaza. Is that possible?
No, we're not moving to the Leisure Plaza. When we're looking at the scale of this project, what's important is that we do every amount of due diligence possible.
So it has to happen at the bowl.
What has to happen at the bowl is that we get absolute clarity of what's going to be on that site, and those goalposts have changed as well in the last 12 months. The partners that are on there, and it's for the development partnership to work that one through. We don't know the detail of what they're working through. But what is important is that everyone comes together and shows that this is a project that's important to Milton Keynes.
So is the Leisure Plaza an option?
The Leisure Plaza was an option for us.
Is it an option now?
I wouldn't discount it, but I'm not. But the due diligence that we've gone through clearly shows us that the bowl is our preferred site, and that's where our attention.
So the bowl is the preferred site, but the Leisure Plaza is a second option if things don't quite work out there.
It could be an option.
OK, Adrian, thank you. That's Adrian Christie, Chief Executive of Badminton England. If you want to have your say on that, 08459 455 555 is the telephone number. I didn't ask him to explain badminton to me. Didn't ask him to explain it to me.
Maybe not the time.
Maybe not the time nor the place. It was so the Leisure Plaza is still potentially an option. Is what the conclusion we came to.
We'll keep an eye on it, won't we?
We'll certainly keep an eye on it. Not too close an eye, otherwise it could end in tears. Matt, couldn't it?
You could get something in your face, yeah. Injury. Shuttlecock injury.
That's where we were going.
That's what I was building up to, Matt.
Yeah, we're talking about this morning.
Yeah, I know.
Yep. 08459 455 555.
What's he doing?
I don't know.
Oh, dear. Morning, Pippa. Sorry to kept you waiting so long. That's very rude of us. Very rude. Very naughty. Someone's going to be cleaned and then fired.
It's all right. I think there's been a miscommunication.
There's been a miscommunication. It's all sorted.
Is it Matt's fault?
Yeah.
Matt! What did you do, you plum?
It's not Matt's fault. No. It's just stuff that happens sometimes. Anyway, it's all sorted now.
OK, well, you're fired then, Catherine.
OK, good.
What? I'm going to have a look at the front pages of the newspapers. The important newspapers. And by the important, I mean the Mail, the Express, and, Matt?
The Sun?
There we go, you got it right. Well, I don't know why we don't get delivered the Mirror, but there we go. The Daily Express, Alzheimer's cure is on the way. Exciting.
Yes.
Exciting.
What does it entail?
Well,
more walking? Sudoku?
No, this is a real cure.
Juicing?
No, this is a real medical cure. 2025.
Oh.
Yeah, a cure for dementia could be a reality by 2025, and Britain is leading the way to find it. A huge £100 million research project. That doesn't sound like a lot to me.
No.
£100 million to research into dementia.
Considering the size of the problem.
And there's a picture of... oh, look at that. There's a picture of Kate, who was at Bletchley Park yesterday, local and vocal. I didn't know whether to look at you or to look at her bum. Kate's family spy secrets.
Well, it's not a secret anymore. Her grandma used to work there. And her great-aunt.
The Daily Mail. The mass killer serving 50 years in UK jail takes Britain to court. Genocide warlord. We've got a genocide warlord in a British prison? He's in Durham. Genocide warlord claims his rights to a family life. An African warlord guilty of crimes against humanity is suing Britain for denying him his right to a family. Do you know what I find more interesting about this story? The name of the Home Affairs editor in the Daily Mail.
What's that?
James Slack.
Oh.
Pick up the slack? Why, is he drunk? If he was drunk, you'd say pick up the slack. I'm sure James
I'm sure he's
never
had that
gets drunk.
many a time. As a joke.
The Sun, they've got cut out and keep fake fangs.
What for?
Suarez. Suarez, that guy is nuts. Sounds like Suez. And Wrighty's wife held hostage. Raiders threatened to cut off his kid's fingers. Not Matthew Wright, Iain Wright flew home from the World Cup last night after his wife and 2 kids were held hostage by knife-wielding robbers.
That's terrible.
That's an awful story.
That's shocking.
Thank you, Matt. 08459 455 555.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
The M1 London bound between junction 11 for Dunstable and 10 for Luton. 2 lanes are closed after an accident. Very slow on the approach with queues back to junction 12 for Flitwick. Also the M25 clockwise between junction 15 for the M4 and 16 for the M40. 1 lane is closed after an accident and it's slow going through that area. On the sensors, the A1M southbound, heavy going around junction 7 for Stevenage. Then in Hemel Hempstead, queues on the A414 between the M1 junction 7 and the traffic lights at the main crossroads. Public transport has no reported problems. I'm Alice Glossop, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Alice, thank you very much indeed. It's 8:16. It is Thursday, the 19th of June. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. There's a question mark over development plans at the Milton Keynes Bowl after complications with funding a proposed new badminton centre there. Virgin Trains has secured a deal to continue to run the West Coast Main Line through the 3 counties until March 2017. And investigations are starting this morning after a blaze overnight at a former old people's home in Leagrave High Street in Luton.
BBC Three Counties Radio. BBC Introducing.
This weekend, BBC Introducing is putting on one of the biggest shows we've ever done. To celebrate the summer solstice, we're going to bring you 24 gigs in 24 hours. We'll be live across beds, hearts and bucks with artists such as Luke Pickett, Alex Bay, and Natasha North. Follow us live on Facebook, Twitter and YouTube and hear the highlights on Saturday night during BBC Introducing from 8. BBC Introducing. 24 gigs in 24 hours on the longest day of the year.
Breathe.
Starts Friday night here on BBC Three Counties Radio.
BBC Introducing.
Oh, dear. What a racket. Breathe. Calm down. Find your centre. Let's align those chakras. Just feel yourself, your presence, that you're loved and that you're welcome and that you are a wonderful human being.
I'm still out of breath, though.
Did that not help?
Well, no, it's helped me to calm down.
Why are you so out of breath? What's wrong? You're looking buff, by the way.
Because someone has printed about 4,000 pages of pictures on the Three Counties Radio printer.
Yep.
So nothing else will come out of the printer apart from constant pictures.
I need those pictures.
They're yours?
I need those pictures.
Please tell me you didn't print those pictures.
And I'm not going to print them at home and waste my printer ink. Are you joking? We'll do that on the licence fee.
Right.
No, it wasn't me. But well, you dashed down like a lunatic.
Nothing else is coming out the printer. It's driving me mad. Anyway, don't worry.
Did you have a little hissy fit in the office, as you are sometimes prone to do?
I did just say whoever has printed this should be shot. I think that's reasonable, don't you?
You can't threaten someone with murder just because they printed some pictures.
They should. Whoever printed those pictures should be shot.
Oh, dear.
Take it outside and shot. I think that's reasonable, don't you?
I got a feeling your show's going to be a little bit sparky today.
Do you think?
I just feel you're going to be a little bit feisty.
Oh.
What are you talking about?
Coming up on the big phone in this morning, it's something I can get feisty about. Should young offenders have their criminal record removed when they turn 18? You've seen the stories today.
Yeah.
An inquiry has told MPs and members of the House of Lords that children who commit minor crimes should have their criminal records wiped clean when they turn 18. The review heard that criminal records can make it harder for children to get a good education and a good job. Dr. Tim Bateman from the University of Bedfordshire, he gave evidence to this inquiry, and he'll be joining me on the show after 9 this morning. But as always, most importantly, I want to hear your thoughts on this morning. Should young offenders have their criminal record removed when they turn 18? 08459 455 555, as always, is my number.
We're talking about would you tell your partner if they were fat? And I noticed on the show, I think on your show on Monday, that Tim Wheeler
told me I put on a bit of weight.
He came straight out with it, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a loving thing to do? I mean, I think you're looking pretty buff.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Well, the reality is, on my holiday in Frigiliana last week, I ate a lot and I drank.
Beautiful.
I drank my body weight in red wine. Truth be told.
That's what it's all about.
Now, my body has bloated because of the carbohydrates I've eaten.
Yeah.
So it's going to take a few weeks of eating more normally, my non-Frigiliana diet, before I start to slim down again. But I'll be all right. I know I'm a bit puffy.
I don't think you look puffy at all.
Really?
I think you look cute. No, I'm just thinking of being somewhere hot and foreign and eating hot, foreign, delicious food, and I'm envious of you. I'm not going to get that for a while.
And I drank loads of beer as well.
Really?
Yes. San Miguel's.
Oh, lovely!
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is Iain Lee.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Morning, this is Iain Lee. BBC Three Counties Radio is the telephone number. Adjust yourself, we've got plenty of time. Matt, what are you doing?
Just adjusting us.
You can stop adjusting yourself now. Now, on yesterday's show, Catherine and I had a little bit of a falling out.
Yeah.
And you since admitted to me that you were wrong.
No, I haven't.
Well, I know you haven't technically.
I went home and thought about it, and I'm more convinced now than I was before that I was right.
I can't remember the specifics of what we were arguing about.
You were saying that children should not be involved in any form of pole dancing or pole exercise. You clumped the both of them together.
Well,
you did. Then you started to soften a bit on the exercise.
The pole exercise evolved.
Yeah, but you said that even that has a connotation.
Yes, it did. And we googled polenastics. When someone mentioned the word polenastics, we googled polenastics, and Pippa Loveridge came up. In 3 across, 3 down, it was quite a picture, quite a pose that you were in.
Was it?
It's the one where you're doing that.
Ah, yes. That's called a fighting foof.
A what?
A fighting foof.
A fighting foof. We saw your picture, we mentioned you, and we thought it would only be fair to get you on. You phoned up and you came on. Excellent stuff. Thank you very much indeed. Explain to me what polenastics is.
It's vertical dance and gymnastics on a vertical piece of apparatus rather than a horizontal piece of apparatus.
So a pole?
Yeah.
Pole going up?
Pole going up.
And which came first, the nastics or the club? The pole dancing or pole nastics?
You're talking stripping?
I don't think there necessarily has to be stripping in pole dancing. It can still be pole dancing and still be erotic without the stripping, I think, can't it?
Yeah, but it can still be dancing and erotic without the pole.
But then that's dancing.
Yeah.
Right, but when it's a pole, doesn't the pole... Which came first, polenastics or pole dancing?
Pole dancing.
Right, OK. And then polenastics has evolved out of that. And how did you get involved into that?
By accident, really. I was 36, bored, didn't like any other kind of exercise. My friend told me about a pole dancing class. I thought, that sounds interesting, let's go and make a show of myself, and completely fell in love with it. Now I run a company.
Well, I know, and some of the pictures, some of the poses you can pull, and some of your muscle strength is incredible. How long did it take you to be able to dangle from a pole?
It took a lot of dedication. I was a student doing 5 to 6 hours a week for about a year and a half before I started looking at teaching.
Yeah.
It all depends on your strength and your own body weight to be able to get good.
Right.
So.
No, the reason we were talking about this yesterday is there was a story in some of the papers about some pole dancing taking place at a primary school with sort of 12-year-old kids doing it. I don't know if you saw the story, but what...
I did. I've seen the video, yeah.
Oh, is there a video of it?
Yeah.
What exactly was going on, and what are your thoughts on it?
It was absolutely definitely pole fitness. They were doing... there was nothing sexual about it, but unfortunately it's perceived, because it's a vertical piece of apparatus, it is perceived as sexual. And one of the tricks that one of the girls was doing, who was in shorts and a crop top...
Because they were in, like, spangly hot pants, weren't they, in a crop top?
Oh, you couldn't see that from the video.
Okay.
But you need grip to be able to stick to a metal pole. So,
yes.
She did need to have her legs free to be able to grip. But she actually did a phoenix, and I know there's lots of pole dancers listening now.
Describe the phoenix to me.
Phoenix is a body weight lift where you spin and then turn your body in upside down and hold it out vertically as well, so it's called an Aisha. But it requires a hell of a lot of strength and a lot of practice. So she did an advanced move, and she was a 12-year-old child, so her body strength is incredible.
Is the clothing integral to part of the definition as to whether it's sexual or not? Because I didn't see the video, but I did see a picture, and in the picture it was quite blurry, but it did look like she was wearing really short, sparkly hot pants.
Yeah, she could have been. Yeah, I mean,
does that make a difference on whether it's appropriate or not?
Well, yeah, but it's no different to what gymnasts wear in the form of a leotard. Really, she depending on the grip, we use our sides and backs, thighs, upper body, arms. To grip the pole with, so you need to be safe. I think children pole dancing and doing pole fitness and polenastics should really do it on a Chinese pole.
What's a Chinese pole?
That's a covered pole, so they don't need skin grip for it. So therefore they can be fully covered.
Yeah.
If your argument is that she was clothed badly or clothed in a provocative way to be able to do the form of fitness that she was doing, then that would fix that, because she could still do all of the same tricks, but she could be fully clothed.
There is a connotation, isn't there, that pole dancing is sexual? Because it is sexual.
Yeah.
So is it appropriate for children to be doing a sexual dance?
No, I don't think it is. I don't teach children. I don't think it's appropriate for them to be associated with anything erotic, and pole dancing is erotic. But what they were doing was pole fitness. It was vertical gymnastics is what they were doing. But unfortunately, people don't see that yet, and I don't think they'll see that for a long time.
Is that because when you think of a pole dance, or if you think of a pole, and I know you're avoiding using the word pole when you talk about vertical fitness apparatus, but it is perceived as phallic. It is perceived as blokes generally leering at women. It is perceived as a sexual thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I can't deny that at all. Yeah, it is.
And is that... this is kind of my thing. This is why I think it's inappropriate for kids to do kind of pole dancing, polenastics or anything like that, because the children are completely innocent. Of course, the children are innocent. It's what society and what we put on them. But there are people that will put a sexual connotation on that. And it is, children to one side... Women gripping poles with their legs is quite sexy. I don't know why. I don't quite know. There'll be some Freudian...
You're avoiding the word groin today because I'm sat in front of you.
I'm avoiding the word... Did I say groin yesterday?
Lots. You said
Did I say groin? OK, women gripping on a pole with their groin is sexy. It's a sexy thing. Whether the intention is sexual or not, it is sexy.
That's what you perceive, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that says more about what you're seeing rather than what they're actually doing. Because if you look at any images of any dance, if you look at Beyonce dancing, if you look at Rihanna dancing...
Beyonce's filth.
If you look at any of the gymnastics moves, being able to do the splits and being able to grip with your thighs and all of that is part of any kind of dance.
It's funny, because I've been to some Beyonce concerts, and I'm such an old man... and I'm really shocked that little girls go there, because it's filthy. It is filthy. And I can see the sexuality in that, and there's a debate as to whether that kind of... Rihanna, I think, is just awful anyway, in terms of her the image that she projects to young women. So there is an argument as to whether that's acceptable for kids. But it's weird, because I don't see gymnastics as a sexual... I don't see it in any sexual contest. I see nothing sexual about the pommel horse or the parallel bars, or I'm at the end of my gymnastics knowledge. I don't see the two. Whereas the pole itself...
So parallel or vertical,
I don't know.
Horizontal, vertical. All we've done is switch it. That's it.
Yeah.
So,
but there's less. Okay, there's less of the bump and grind. There's less of someone. I'm going to act this out for you now. Aren't you the lucky one, Pippa? There's less of a woman holding on to a pole with her whatsits and jiggling her arms.
But that wasn't what the children were doing.
No.
You're talking about two separate things. There's polenastics, there's pole dancing, there's pole fitness.
Would that happen in polenastics and pole fitness?
If I was teaching adults. We teach dance, we teach pole fitness, and we teach gymnastics as well.
Okay.
So you can learn choreography. It doesn't even have to be sexy choreography. It can be choreography around a piece of apparatus, which is the pole.
Yeah.
We also run sexy workshops. We run...
What's a sexy workshop?
Where you get your jiggy on the pole.
Wowzers.
We can teach that. Lots of women... enjoy that. They like the fact that they can feel sexy.
Do they then go home and then do that for their husbands or their wives or whatever?
I have no idea at all. But the ladies that do have a pole at their house because they like to practice at home and have children, all of their children just dance around it the whole time, play around it, climb it, jump around it, do spins all over it. So... But that's because it's fun to do.
It is, of course it's fun, and we're nearly out of time. I really appreciate you coming in. Is there a danger, though, because that some parents are allowing their children to be sexualised by, in your opinion, is there a danger that some parents are allowing their children to become sexualised by letting them dance, do gymnastics, do whatever on a pole?
No, I don't think. I think you're thinking they're going to be sexualised. I don't.
Because some parents do sexualise their children, don't they? By entering them into beauty contests and beauty pageants,
that's far more
things like
worrying
that.
than letting them dance around a stick. Yeah.
You don't see any correlation between the two?
I can see how you would, but from being within the industry, I know that the children would just be learning gymnastics and power tricks and strength. And to be honest, it's much better than sitting on the sofa playing 18 games and doing nothing. You know, these children, whether they're doing it at home or whether there are schools around in the area that do teach children, gymnastics isn't one of them, but they're off the sofa, they're not sitting inside watching television, they're burning calories. It's tackling child obesity if they are doing that. So, but I don't think I don't think it will become mainstream for many years.
Let's put it out there. 08459 455 555. I really appreciate you coming in. But if people want to find out about your studio and your classes, where do they go?
Gymnastics.co.uk.
Simple as. Pippa, thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Ongoing problems on the M1 London bound between junction 11 for Dunstable and 10 for Luton. 2 lanes are blocked after an accident. Still very slow on the approach with queues starting around junction 12 for Flitwick. The M25 anti-clockwise very slow between junction 20 for Kings Langley and 16 for the M40. Also the clockwise M25, there was an accident earlier on between junction 15 for the M4 and 16 for the M40. Still slow through that area. And on the sensors in Kings Langley, the A41 is queuing as you head towards the M25. Public transport all looking good with no reported problems. I'm Alice Glossop, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Across beds, hearts and bugs.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
With the headlines, I'm Simon Oxley. Virgin Trains has secured a deal to continue to run the West Coast Main Line through the three counties until March 2017. The government originally awarded the contract to First Group, but the process was scrapped due to errors in the bidding process. The Education Secretary, Michael Gove, has given the go-ahead for a planned Luton Girls Academy for girls aged 11 to 18 to open in September 2015. No details of a site for the proposed new free school have yet been announced. There's a question mark over development plans at the Milton Keynes Bowl after complications with funding a proposed new badminton centre there. And an investigation is starting this morning after a blaze overnight at a former old people's home in Leagrave High Street in Luton.
Three Counties Sports.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
The defending champions Spain have been knocked out of the World Cup after losing to Chile.
The ball is played across, chance for Vargas, kept his feet and scored! Casillas to his left, tanks it away, and then the shot is into the net! Chile have scored again!
The 2-0 defeat means Spain have become the first defending champions to lose their opening 2 group games. It means Chile and the Netherlands progress from Group B. That's after the Dutch beat Australia 3-2. Also last night, Cameroon went out after a 4-0 defeat by Croatia. Tonight, of course, it's England versus Uruguay. Captain Steven Gerrard is expecting to face fit-again Liverpool teammate Luis Suarez.
Luis Suarez is a genius. I've said it many, many times. He's a wonderful player. I think it's going to be a boost for the Uruguay players and their supporters to have him back. But they're more than one player. You know, they have other good players around the pitch. They're a strong team. So we treat Suarez like any other Uruguay player. We have a game plan in place to try and win this football match.
And it's an 8 o'clock kick-off our time. Before that, it's Colombia versus the Ivory Coast at 5, with Japan versus Greece at 11. In golf, the Women's US Open starts today. Lucy Williams is making her debut, and the Mid-Hearts golfer says it could be the greatest moment in her career.
I think it might be probably one of the biggest moments ever in my career, because it's probably the biggest women's tournament in the world in the game. So, yeah, don't think much will top that in the future.
And in rugby, England have made 7 changes to their starting lineup for Saturday's third and final test against New Zealand. Meanwhile, Bedford's Aaron Morris starts at full-back for England under-20s in tomorrow's Junior World Cup final against South Africa. That's also in New Zealand. BBC Three Counties News and Sports. The next full bulletin is at 9.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is Iain Lee.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Oh, yes. Well, lots to talk about in the last 25 minutes of the show. Gosh, there's so much to talk about. Badminton injuries. No one has been able to phone up and sell badminton as a sport to me. It's tennis for old people, isn't it, basically?
I've got some texts for you.
OK.
Ian, my wife and I play badminton every Monday with a club. Our coach works us so hard you're on the verge of throwing up.
How old are you?
I don't know.
Yeah, 62.
And the serve might be slow, but the return comes back at you over 100 miles per hour and you're only 15 foot from it. If it hits you, it's a similar pain to a paintball.
Oh, what, a little sting. OK, next.
I hit my wife many times and regretted it when I got home.
What?
Plus, I've been hit in the head...
That's talking about badminton,
yes,
is it? OK.
Plus, I've been hit in the head by my playing partner's racket. Come and play and you'll experience a whole new world of pain and whoop-ass.
So they've been injured by clumsiness.
Leonard in Milton Keynes. He's on his way to Texas and just gone out of range.
His name's Leonard?
Yes.
He's 68 then?
No, he's not.
Len, how old are you?
Use the term whoop-ass. I've recently taken up badminton with friends who are better than me.
No, you haven't, Catherine.
No, this is Dave St.
Another
Clement.
text. Oh, OK.
Dave St. Clement of Milton Keynes. They find it funny to aim for me. I often end up taking it to the face. Once it went in my eye.
OK.
Badminton court, £20 an hour with all 12 courts booked 24/7, 365 days. Will raise £2 million easily, says Maff in Hanslope. Whack the shuttlecock over the washing line till they've been lost over the fence at home.
Maff, who's going to play badminton at 3 o'clock in the morning? Why have we got a text here from to the Queen?
I think it's a stray one. I'm not quite sure what the point is. I think I know why the Queen's not responded.
Could you get Matt to read it for me, please?
Go on, Matt.
Right,
read this.
This is the text we've received, and it's to the Queen. Matt, away you go.
Oh God, here we go. It's a long text, isn't it? To the Queen, I am contacting you. What? To the Queen, I'm contacting you. Has you more experience? This person can't write. I'll read it as it's been written.
Do.
To the Queen, I'm contacting you. Has you have more experience in this? Has it happened before? An American law slapped you in the face, and I've tried contacting the President of America, and I've been blocked. I write this, I have go other ways. They stare. That is why too many jobs are going. And I've been through Islam law in college. I have a missed appointment at the social. If you can provoke me with a provider to get money to help get into the training for work programme, but not any of these, as I am not on their scheme, then I will come mainstream. My skills need updating. That is all. What? That makes no sense
I'll
whatsoever.
forward it to Buckingham Palace.
Please do. We're the BBC. We have a direct hotline there. So we're talking about all of those things. Ever told your partner that they are fat? Ever pushed anything over? And anything you want to give us a call about. 08459 455 555. One of the stories we've been following this morning is the transport charity Sustrans will meet MPs today to urge them to do more to get children walking to school, starting with ensuring they'll be safe from traffic. It's as if they've read the minds of a group of parents in Berkhamsted who fear a child will be hurt trying to cross the road to Ashland School. For once, the local council needs no convincing and has broken with policy by offering to pay for a lollipop person. But, no one wants the job. Perhaps the £6.50 an hour they're offering isn't tempting enough. Well, I'm joined now by Melissa Henry from Sustrans. Good morning, Melissa.
Good morning.
I guess one of the ways to make roads safer is to get, road attendants, lollipop men and women. But if people don't want the jobs, there's not a lot that places can do, is there?
There's a lot we can be doing. We could be imposing 20-mile-an-hour speed limits and actually making that the default speed limit. We can be investing far more in safe walking and cycling routes around schools, which also benefit the wider community. And we can be encouraging kids to have much better training in school to walk and cycle safely around their school, but also around... This is obviously what kids want. Kids actually want to be walking, cycling, scooting to school. They don't want to be cooped up in a car. And at about this time, I imagine an awful lot of people on the road in their cars will be wishing that kids could be doing that too, because, a lot of congestion is caused by the school run.
You carried out a survey of parents recently, Melissa. What sort of things did that reveal?
Well, it reveals that it's traffic danger that is most off-putting when it comes to letting kids walk, cycle and scoot to school. Far more of a concern than stranger danger or gang violence. It's really up, it's a very high proportion of parents who care about that. And an awful lot of parents have experienced for themselves when they do walk their kids or cycle their kids to school, an experience of a vehicle not stopping or a speeding vehicle, and a smaller proportion have had an incident where their child's actually been hit. And so I think, all that combines to encourage parents to think actually the safest thing to do is put kids in the back of the car.
Are parents doing it? I imagine some parents are driving their kids to school partly for safety reasons. I would have suspected the majority are doing it out of convenience, because that's kind of the society we're in now, where we drive everywhere.
Yeah, that's probably true too. The primary school journey is quite a short journey. On the whole, it's less than 2 miles. Often, I know this from my own son actually, often we can cycle it quicker than we could drive it. I think that the health benefits and the congestion benefits and just the benefits to children arriving, having had a slightly more active journey, full of the joys of a sunny day like today, is better for the children too.
You're meeting MPs today. What are you hoping to achieve from that meeting?
Well, what we really want is a much higher level of understanding of the importance of creating safety for our children. Children are disproportionately affected by road accidents. A lot more children killed and seriously injured on our roads than any society like ours should be tolerating. So what we're hoping is a much deeper understanding, an understanding that it takes investment to make it safer for children to walk and cycle to school, that we need more investment in walking and cycling provision, that we need better training for children in school, particularly around cycle training, and that we actually need to be looking at the speed of cars travelling around our communities.
Melissa, I appreciate your time. I wish you the very best of luck as a father of 2 young boys. Of course, it will be great to make roads everywhere, particularly around schools, much safer. That's Melissa Henry from Sustrans.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is Iain Lee.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Well, I have spent the morning dissing... What on earth is that? Sue, what are you doing? Hello? Sue?
Hello?
Sue, where are you? Are you underground? Hello?
Hello?
Hello? Can I speak to Sue, please?
Yes, speaking.
Hello, Sue. I'm just going to put you on the air now.
Thank you, Ian.
Okay, thank you. Hang on, just wait there, and the next voice you'll hear will be mine.
Thank you, Ian.
And we'll be on the radio, okay?
Thank you, Ian.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is Iain Lee.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Now, I have spent a significant part of the morning dissing badminton. And no one's been able to phone up and say that why badminton is good, but we've had lots of badminton injury stories. Sue from Luton, what happened to your husband?
He was 19 at the time and playing badminton.
Yes.
He ended up complete bed rest in hospital 5 days with a bleed in the eye.
Oh, that's not... we all thought that was going to end up somewhere else. What? So he got shuttlecocked in the eye.
He did, and can you imagine the stories on the football pitch as he also played football about shuttlecock in the eye?
Yeah, exactly. They're making all the jokes that I'm making in my head that I'm not allowed to say because I do like being able to pay my mortgage. So what? His opponent just whacked it really hard and it went straight in the eye, but ball end first.
Yeah, 5 days in there, complete, couldn't move, lying in the bed for 5 days.
Does that not make him a bit of a lightweight, Sue?
I wouldn't like to say, but I didn't know him at the time.
Right, OK, you've manned him up a bit since then.
I have, yeah.
Does he play badminton anymore?
No, golf now.
Oh, yeah, because there's no danger of getting a whack in the eye on the golf course, is there? Sue, thank you very much. Well done to you. Well done to your husband. 08459 455 555. So, nobody has been able to defend badminton and say, whoa, it's not tennis for old people. It's a cracking sport. It's a thoroughly entertaining, fast-paced, skillful sport. No one's been able to do that. But so far, we've had 3 counts of badminton injuries, including one gentleman. He's a good husband. He's got a good job in London. He's going to be out of action for, was it 6 months, Matt?
I think it was 9 months.
9 months, that was it.
Out of action for 9 months. Can't go to the toilet, can't really do anything. It's just stuck on a chair. It sounded all very depressing.
Yeah.
He's got a guy.
He's a good husband.
And this all
good
through
job.
badminton?
Yeah, all through badminton.
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 OK, we know it's all through badminton. 08459 455 555. You're a bit of a sporty bloke, aren't you, Matt? No, you're not at all?
No.
Do you like playing any sports?
A snooker. I do like a bit of snooker. Yeah. Pool. I do like pool.
Well, I like pool because pool is snooker for people who aren't very good at snooker.
Exactly.
And let's be honest, no one's good at snooker. If I get a break of 6, I consider it a good day.
Well, you pot a red, don't you? You pot a colour, then you think, How do I keep this break going? Where do I earn the cue to the cue ball?
I can very rarely pot the colour after the red. the only time I score during snooker is when the other person fouls. That's the only time.
Yes. And some people are very obsessed with the foul and the miss rule, which, have you heard of that? The foul and the miss rule?
No, go on.
It's very complicated, but it just slows the game down.
If you can play a miss?
Yes, yeah. It's almost to stop people deliberately missing, but they get that close to the ball that they clearly haven't deliberately missed the ball, but yet the referee's saying foul and the miss rule.
Come on.
It's ridiculous. Get rid of that rule in
Someone
snooker.
has had their heart broken in the snooker hall.
Get rid of that rule.
OK. Do you watch sport?
I'm watching England. I'm one of those jump on the bandwagon. I watch enough to have a conversation with people occasionally in the pub. They say, "Did you watch the England game last night?"
And then what do you say?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, it wasn't bad, was it?
Then what do they say?
And they go, "Oh, so are you impressed by Steven Gerrard?" Or,
and then what do you say?
There were several players that played well, and he was one of them.
And then what do they say?
And then they say, "Well, you sound like you know what you're talking about." And I go, "Yes, I do." And then the conversation ends there, really. But, there's lots of football talk in the office upstairs, isn't there, really? I just feel left out. Toby's very into football. Ben, Shaggy is into football. Who else is into football? Tony Fisher, he likes a bit of football. Nick Coffer, he likes football. JVS doesn't like football. I'm sure he doesn't like football. JVS, do you like football? No, I don't. There you go.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Ongoing problems on the M1 London bound between junction 11 for Dunstable and 10 for Luton. 2 lanes are blocked after an accident. It's causing severe delays on the approach going past junction 12 for Flitwick. Also, the M25 anti-clockwise, very slow between junction 20 for Kings Langley and 16 for the M40. The clockwise carriageway is struggling between junction 15 for the M4 and 16 for the M40 after an earlier accident. Then looking on the speed sensors between Houghton Regis and Markgate, the A5 Redbourne bound looking very heavy, might be as a result of people diverting from the problems on the M1. Public transport has no reported problems. I'm Alice Glossop, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you very much. Coming up before 9, we'll speak to JD again, no doubt, and maybe take your calls. But right now, it's 8:47 exactly. It is Thursday, the 19th of June. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. Virgin Trains has secured a deal to continue to run the West Coast Main Line through the three counties until March 2017. The Education Secretary, Michael Gove, has given the go-ahead for a planned Luton Girls Academy to open in September 2015. And there's a question mark over development plans at the Milton Keynes Bowl after complications with funding a proposed new badminton centre there. Let's get the latest weather now. Here's Wendy Hurrell.
Beds, Herts and Bucks weather.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Hello, good morning. We've had a bit of sunshine so far today. Very nice to wake up to. It's helped to lift the temperature to about 16 degrees in Stevenage at the moment. But as we go through the next few hours, that cloud has sunk across us. It's going to continue moving south and it's going to just cap the temperature for a little bit. It might rise a little bit higher. I think we'll probably just about hit something like 19 or 20 degrees in the next couple of hours. But what this cloud consists of is a cold front, basically. It's a very weakened cold front, so there's not very much rain on it, although it might just produce 1 or 2 spots. But really it's going to introduce this cloud, and that will be on and off with us through the rest of today. I think it will start to clear actually towards late afternoon and evening, return to some sunnier skies then. But what we'll lose is the humidity, so if it wasn't very comfortable for sleeping last night, you might find it a bit more comfy tonight. Temperatures will be similar at around 10 or 11 degrees, but it won't be quite as muggy. For Friday, Saturday and Sunday, I have to warn of a shower. They will be isolated. I very much doubt you'll see them at all because most of us are going to have dry conditions, some sunny breaks, temperatures tomorrow up to about 21, 22 degrees, and perhaps a little bit higher than that in a few places as we go through Sunday. So a fine spell of weather to look forward to.
Imagine a radio station with no music.
What's your favourite biscuit?
Imagine a programme without conversation.
Listen to me, I'm really important.
Imagine an afternoon with no local stories.
Hundreds of miles away, something really impressive is happening.
Sounds pretty boring. Which is why we have Nick Coffer.
BBC Three Counties Radio, Nick Coffer, here until 3 o'clock.
Every weekday he'll bring you the music,
Gallagher and Lyle, I want to stay with you. Every breath you take, that's a police.
the conversation,
His dedication to local musicians has led him to starting Papermouth.
and the local stories.
Today we're going to be looking at the work of the Bedford and Milton Keynes Waterways Trust.
Say no to boring afternoons and listen to Nick Coffer. Weekdays from midday here on BBC Three Counties Radio.
I could really do with a hit of smelling salts. We've been talking about couldn't you, Catherine?
No, I've done for life.
Oh, no, man. I'm going to start a 12-step group for smelling salts addicts because they must be out there. Matt, you ever done any smelling salts?
No.
Yay, Matty! In one. Anyway. We're talking badminton this morning, and I don't get badminton. It's not a sport. It's not a sport in the slightest. It's not a sport. It's gentle tennis for old people.
You said ping pong was a sport. That's
Ping
not
pong
a
is.
sport.
Go up to a Chinaman and say ping pong's not a sport. He will
Don't
kill
care
you.
about the Chinaman.
No, you watch the Chinese playing it. You're right. You're right, Matt.
What?
Ping pong isn't a sport. When the
Good.
Chinese play it, it's an art.
Oh.
It's an art, isn't it, Catherine?
Martial art.
I'm going to find some wicked. There are these two Chinese dudes. They might be French, and they do like wicked. They're like the John Virgo of ping pong. They do
the waistcoats.
They do wicked comedy ping pong, right? I'm going to find you some footage of that.
Okay.
I'm going to make you watch it whilst you're sat on my lap.
Whoa.
It's only a game show, snookering you tonight. I'm gonna be snookering you tonight, big break. Snookering you tonight, big break.
Look at Jonathan Bernard-Smith's face.
Snookering you
He can't believe
tonight,
it.
big break.
Are you sure you don't want him on your show?
Come on, join in,
He
Jim,
can work
yes.
on your team. You got the words wrong.
What?
It's only
snickering you tonight.
Snickering.
What is it?
The way you sang it sounded wrong.
Right.
It's only a game.
So. You better believe I'm right. There we go.
There we
Or
go.
put up a real good fight.
Yeah, it depends. It depends
Verse two.
who's singing it.
Yeah.
Justin.
I'm gonna be snookering you tonight. Big break.
Carry on, Justin. Carry on. Go on, do it again.
Hang on, who's doing the show here?
It's me.
You're not the boss.
I am.
No, you're not the boss.
I am.
No.
Yeah.
You haven't
I'm
got the
here
presence.
to cause disorder.
Justin, please, can I try and gain some control of this ridiculous embarrassment?
Yes.
Badminton, it ain't a sport, is it?
Well, according to you, it's not.
Well, hang on, and Justin, according to you earlier on in the show, it's not.
Yes, I'll probably go along with that.
Thank you.
I'm at Venue 360 in Luton, Ian. I'm live here with Claire Jellos. She plays for Vauxhall Badminton Club. And her husband is the events manager for Badminton England, the national body.
Yeah.
So we have somebody here in authority when it comes to badminton. Claire, Iain is listening to you intently right now. Iain is saying that badminton is not a sport. It's ridiculous. Respond.
Well, that's ridiculous to say that. It's the fastest racket sport, so you can't really say it's for old people or anything like that. Granted, you can slow it down, but it goes over 200 miles an hour, so you try and react to that.
Yeah, Iain, you try and react to that.
Right, just 1 second, Claire. And thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate your time. But I just have to grass up Justin. He was dissing it as well this morning. He's
Not
just
as much as you.
He's doing what I did with when Pippa came in. He's bottling it. But also it is. You'll get more old people saying we're going to go and have a little bit of the old badminton than they will say proper tennis.
Well, I mean, I think you'll find it's from young kids all the way up to the elderly. That's why it's a great sport, because you can play at any level.
But you say 200 miles an hour. You can get a tennis ball faster than that, can't you?
It's over 200 miles an hour now. I can't quote the exact speed because it changes all the time.
Yeah.
But
But tennis
is the fastest racket sport.
But tennis is okay. Come on, let's duke this out. I'm sure you can look after yourself. Let's duke this out, Claire. Tennis, it's a bigger court, it's a bigger racket, it's a harder racket, it's a harder ball, it's a harder game, isn't it? Tennis is a tougher game. You can't deny that.
No, not at all.
What?
Bigger racket, bigger surface area to hit it with.
Yeah, more danger.
No. You've heard about injuries.
Yeah, we have had some.
So I know someone that's blind in one eye from playing badminton as well.
Well, this is it. This is the third eye story we've heard from someone getting shuttlecocked in the face.
Yeah, it's brutal.
We had someone broke their leg earlier on. They're going to be out of action. Get this, Claire, for 9 months.
Yeah, it's not good.
Stay there. Stuart's in Milton Keynes. Stuart's called in. Morning, Stuart.
Morning, how you doing?
I'm fine. What's your take on badminton? Old man sport, or is it the best sport around?
Oh, it's fantastic. I
Really?
absolutely love badminton, mate. 23, and I've been playing for 10 years. It's a really great sport.
Hang on a minute, you're not Claire's husband, are you?
I'm not,
Okay,
no.
all right, okay.
No.
Tell me why it's so good.
It's as she said, it's for all ages. You can play in all weathers. It's indoors. Don't have to rely on being summer. Good exercise. If you join a club, it's all the social side of things, and it's a skillful sport as well. It's not just the person who hits it hardest wins.
Claire, explain, because I don't see the skill. Explain the skill to me, Claire.
Well, there's more to it than just whacking it. Guys' game tends to be a lot sort of harder and faster than ladies' game, but it is more like chess than anything else.
Oh, now come on, Claire. I've been with you all the way, and then you can't say it's more. It's nothing like chess.
Well, it is, because you have to look at your partner's positioning, where you think they're going to go. You have to predict where they're going, and you have to place the shuttle where they're not going to be.
Yeah. You're not embarrassed though? It's called a shuttlecock.
No, not at all. Makes for more banter and more innuendo.
Okay,
so makes our sport fun.
Oh, Ian, can I just interrupt here for a second?
Yeah, go.
I spoke to Ben a moment ago.
Yeah.
He said to me that he's had a shuttlecock in his face many times, but he's got this little scar just below his eye playing last week. And Claire, actually, tell Ian this. You've been spanked whilst playing badminton. No, this is absolutely true. Tell Ian, playing going above, tell Ian about the time that you were spanked playing the game.
Yeah, I mean, we're playing mixed doubles. The lady has to crouch at the front of the court to get out the way of the man. And my partner managed to follow through with his racket straight onto my back.
Oh, he followed through?
That's what I say. Innuendos.
Yeah, I wouldn't know where to look, whether to look at you or the... Okay, so it can be sexy fun, it can be dangerous, and it's like chess. Stuart, is this ringing true with you?
Vaguely. I mean, I can see the tactical side of things, definitely. It's, a bit more active than chess, that's for sure.
Ever followed through on the badminton court? Or had sexy fun?
Well, I can't have had sexy fun, but, you can hit a few people, that's for sure, yeah.
Stuart, listen...
It's a great sport.
Thank you very much indeed. Claire, if people want to come and learn badminton, do you teach it? Do you run classes?
Yeah, my other half actually coaches here with the home of the Performance Centre, so hopefully it'll be the new generation of England players. But we've actually got badminton essentials starting in the next week for adults and students.
Okay.
So they can come down on Mondays 7 till 9 or Sundays 10 till 12.
Okay, so it's only a 2-hour window, so it's not too strenuous.
No, you'll be sweating, well and truly, by the time you finish.
As long as I don't follow through and as I get spanked, that'll be good. Claire, you've been a very good sport. Thank you very much. Justin Dealey.
Yes, boss.
You're a flipping coward, mate.
Why? What have I done?
Because you did what I did when Pippa came in.
Yeah, go on.
You bottled it, mate. You totes bottled it.
I'll tell you what, then. I'll tell you what. How about you and me, a couple of rackets and a couple of shuttlecocks next week on a court in Luton?
I'm up for that. I've got to go, but we've also got you a pole dancing gig as well, Just. The reason I'm going is you've got Ben from Dorking. Morning, Ben.
Good morning.
Ben,
how are you?
I'm very well. We've only got a minute. I'm sorry to have to squeeze you in, but go on. What's your story?
Basically, we run I'm one of the only men in the country to run a pole dancing studio.
Oh.
And we teach anything from Women's Institute, private school children, they're 16 upwards. We do life coaching.
Pole dance? I was confused. Not badminton, pole dancing.
No, pole dancing.
You teach it to the WI?
WI, come and do it.
It beats a Beetle drive, I suppose. Sexy older women. But Ben, come on. It's sexual, isn't it?
No, it's only sexual for guys that go into clubs at night and put the money in women's knickers.
This is the art, and we're going to run out of time, Ben. I'm really sorry. We'll get you back again. But this is the thing. Oh, it's only sexual if you perceive it. Well no. A woman gripping.
It's only sexual for someone who's been in nightclubs, stuck money in a woman's pants. Apart from that. What we teach is purely sports and fitness.
But women gripping a metal pole with their groinage, that's sexual.
No, it's not. Not at all.
Ben, listen, thank you for calling. I'm sorry it's been so short. Thank you to all the calls. Justin, we're going to get you a gig doing some polenastics with Pippa as well. I forgot to mention that. That's it. That's your lot.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
The M1 London bound between junction 11 for Dunstable and 10 for Luton. 2 lanes are blocked after an accident. Severe delays on the approach with queues starting just after junction 12 for Flitwick. On the speed sensors, it's really having a knock-on to the A5 southbound, which is very heavy between Houghton Regis and Markgate as people divert from the M1. The M25 anti-clockwise also still looking very slow between junction 18 for Chorleywood and 16 for the M40. Public transport, that's all looking good though, with no reported problems. I'm Alice Glossop, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Alice, thank you very much indeed. Oh, we've got someone who wants to come on and talk about burlesque dancing now. Oh dear. It's getting very steamy in here, very steamy. That's it, that's your lot. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Catherine. JVS is up next. Until tomorrow, ta-ta.
Local and vocal across Beds, Herts and Bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Ian. Good morning. Welcome to the JVS show. I'm Jonathan Vernon-Smith. It's Thursday, it's 9 o'clock, and on today's Big Phone-In, should young offenders have their criminal record removed when they turn 18? An inquiry has told MPs and